Well, well, well. The Cowboys got the absolute brakes beat off them by the Chicago Bears. And while I say I'm surprised, I'm not surprised. But I am surprised. The Dallas Cowboys got some problems they need to solve. One of those problems is Matt Eberflus. But I think the Cowboys' problems go even deeper than that. Cowboy fans, we got work to do. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Let's go! And we live. Won't, it don't stop, and it won't stop. Yep. 14 more games to go. The season is not over. The season is just beginning. Let's go. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video as you come in, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, please do. We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Cowboy fans, it is not over yet. This is not the first time we've had a bad start to a season. 2023, we had a terrible start to the season. It is not time to throw in the towel and start looking to 2026 just yet. We got a long way to go. We're only 1-2. Still trying to figure this thing out. I told you, brand new coaching staff, they need a whole year to get this thing under their belt. Did I not tell you? I think the Cowboys will flash, but we still got work to do, and especially personnel-wise. Now, let's look at today's show. Today, Brian Schottenheimer press conference. Well, I guess we might as well get used to this. It's like we're listening to Brian Schottenheimer talk every single day. Maybe I'm just missing something. It just don't seem like like Mike McCarthy was talking every day, even though he probably was. Brian Schottenheimer is going to say all the right things, but nevertheless, we got to see some action. Second thing we're going to talk about, what happened? What actually happened? We're going to look at some major turning points in the game. We're also going to go back and look at the keys to the game that we talked about on Saturday and see. And again, when you look at the keys to the game and you go back and look at the game and then you come back and look at the keys to the game, you'll see where the keys were not used. So we're going to look at that. Also, we're going to listen to Dak Prescott. It is what it is. I feel sorry for Dak Prescott. If there has ever been three games that scream Dak Prescott is not the problem, it's been these 3 games. Dak Prescott's not the problem, and far from it. We're going to listen to the Jerry Jones press conference. And it is amazing to me how people hate Jerry Jones so much. They take anything this man says out of context and they run with it. Even when the man is saying something right, they say he's saying something wrong. We're going to listen to the Jerry Jones thing after the game last night. We're going to talk a little bit about the CD injury, and I'm going to tell you the impact that this had on the game. We're going to listen to Stephen Jones today, and then we're going to talk about now what? Man, we're going to try to squeeze all of that in about 2 hours because it's Monday Night Football. I'm going to let y'all go check out most of that. We're going to try to get this done expeditiously, but y'all already know how we do it. So much content, so much to talk about. Let's go, Cowboy fans. Let's get us a quick roll call in, and I mean a quick roll call. We got a lot to do. I want to get as much covered as I can. Let's go. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Quick roll call. One Atlantis. What's going on? Let's go. Metris Adams, how you doing? We finally stopped the run, but we can't stop the pass. You got it. G Money, what is up in this thing? He said the coaches in this podcast is garbage. Well, I appreciate you being here. Help me out. Let's see. It says, Derek G, what is going on? He said the defense yesterday was so bad, was so terrible. We can't go through this season like that. We gonna see. Daniel M said, Daniel M, my right-hand man, what's going on? Ron Hanna, he says nothing in the algorithm has Lamb in the backfield. Dumb. Absolute dumb, Daniel M. You hit it right on the head. Dumb. Big Mouse Dog in this thing. What's going on with you? He said the fat lady's warming up a voice for Floose. Man, whew. Boy. My sister LaQueen from the beginning. What's going on? She said Evil Floose is a big problem. Can't get it right and won't get it right. After the Packers game, maybe he's out. Woo! Love the overreactions. Let's go. Ron Hanna. What's going on? The regular. Good to see you. Mike 405. Let's get this thing going. Gandalf's Pipe. What's going on? He said, please get Jaden Blue ready to play. Since CD is out, we need another playmaker fast. I like that point. Angie the Rebel Chicks, the unofficial co-host. What's going on? Giovanni 80. What up with you? Williams getting 7 yards a carry. Why do we need CD playing running back? Shotty trying to be cute. Just dumb. All it is dumbness. All right, let's go. Shortman 804, what up with you? Dominique Pittman, the regular. What's going on? He said 4 to 6 weeks. Bumpy TY 5X, what's going on? 903, tapping in. The Big Rombowski, what is going on? He says worst coaching staff in NFL. The $60 million check down quarterback gets sacked twice by Micah, throws 2 interceptions. Packers 42, Cowgirls 72. Book it. I got a feeling it's not gonna happen. Rena Zaguini, what's going on with you? The real estate vet, what's going on? Brandon Cup up in this thing said, Jay, look, G, this is ugly. Lulu, what up with you? Riley, what's going on? Final Hall, what's up? Big Cloud in this thing, what's going up? Joe Smain, what up with you? Marlon Dillard, get right or get left, what's going on? He said, no more gaslighting, just talk facts, G. You know we about to do it. Let's go. Katharina Kiss, what's going on? She said, hit that like button, people. Revito, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Shadid Mahdi, Alan Wilson, Deion Jefferson, let's go. Jared Thomas, Dak Prescott, #1 fan. I'm #2. What's going on? He said, I love Dak, but I got to give him some tough love here. The interception thing can't come back. Man, hey, Jared, I'm going to solve that for you. It ain't coming back. It's not Dak Prescott. Let's not even go there. Mr. Brightside, tell me what the bright side is. David Duval up in this thing. Nisi, my sister from the beginning again. She said, hey, chat on this money, fix the heroes in the secondary, blowing the side bids. It's straight up what it is. Grudge Racing Media, everybody, what's going on? All right, Carl Alder just pulled up in a 1972 Chevelle, and that's gonna do it for the greetings. It's too many of y'all, I appreciate you. Y'all hit that like button as you come in. Lord Nova 85, let's get this thing going. All right, let's get this thing going. We'll get some more people as we're going here. But let's get this thing going. We're going to listen to Brian Schottenheimer first. And Brian Schottenheimer, the problem is with Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer has the gift of gab. But where Brian Schottenheimer is going to have to be very careful is that he doesn't want to become a broken record. He doesn't want to become a broken record. And what I mean by that is he keeps saying all the right things. But it's great to say the right thing. But at some point, we got to start saying the right thing come into focus and the team doing the right thing. I'm gonna show you some points and tell you some things that I'm sure you haven't heard, except from what you're gonna hear from me today. Brian Schottenheimer made some mistakes in this game. Brian Schottenheimer made some show enough mistakes in this game, especially as it pertains to his offense. He made some mistakes in this game. And we're going to see going forward on whether or not is Brian Schottenheimer the offensive coordinator or is he the doggone coach? Is he the therapist for the team or is he the doggone coach? What is he? Brian's going to have to prove to us as this thing continues to go that he doesn't just say the right thing. He's got to start making sure the right thing happens. So I haven't heard the interview today, but I'm sure Brian Schottenheimer, he always dazzles as it applies to these doggone interviews. He always dazzles. He always says the right thing. But I do believe that he is getting to a point that even with his own players, he has got to be very careful because you can't be saying the right thing. You can't be, your team can't be watching, they're out there watching, and they're playing this game. And then you keep saying the right thing, but then the players keep noticing, man, you're saying all this stuff, but this or that isn't happening. So let's check out Brian. This is only about looks like we're dealing with somewhere around 20 minutes, somewhere about 20 something minutes. So let's get into this. I haven't heard it, but y'all know how we do. We're going to listen to what he says and break it down piece by piece. And I'll break down pieces of the game as he's talking also to go along with this. But again, I'm telling us, talk is cheap. Bullcorn runs a marathon. Eventually, I don't care how good you're talking. If people don't see the money, if they don't see the money, man, they'll start turning you off and you start falling on deaf ears. And in particular, they're in danger with this as it pertains to Matt Eberflus. Let's check out Brian Schottenheimer.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What's the status on CD Lamb after his injury?
Yeah, gonna miss some time, but CD is a guy that heals quickly, and he will do everything in his power to get back. But it does look like he'll miss a little bit of time.
You said miss a little bit of time. What's the time frame there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna put a timetable on it. Probably unlikely he plays this week, but we'll see.
Diggs and Clark also got nicked up. They did come back, but what's their status, you think?
Yeah, I think those guys, they're okay. We're still running some tests on some guys, but I think both those guys we kind of came out pretty clean.
Clarence Hill, DLLS Cowboys. What changes for the offense without Lamb?
Guys have to step up. I think that's a big part of it. I think we are very fortunate to still have a guy like GP. I think you saw Terp step up and make some plays. Jake Ferguson had an awesome game. But look, injuries are unfortunately a big part of this business, and it's hard to replace a guy like CD. But guys got to step up and do that, and it gives us a week to do it. This is really the second week in a row we've had to adjust kind of on the fly on game day. The week before it was Terp. When Terp went out, you got to move some of your personnels and stuff around, and had to do that again yesterday with CD. But still got plenty of ammunition to go do what we got to do.
I know Lamb has been used as running back before. Any second guess on using him as a runner, certainly with Williams going so well?
No, absolutely not. You call passes and runs for people and try to get on the ball, and it's unfortunate, but we're going to still, call quarterback runs with Dak at times. And
see? Right here. Right here. This is the stuff that Brian's got to stop. There was no point in CD. Not only was there no point, there should not be a situation where CD Lamb is running the ball anymore. That should be so far and in between that it needs to almost be like a gadget play. It makes no sense. Brian, and I love Brian Schottenheimer, but there is no reason CeeDee Lamb should be running the football. And I'm telling you what's wrong with this this offense. One of the things that we're going to talk about this offense. This offense is missing what I call, and you've heard me talk about it before, this offense is missing what I call that pop. They're missing it, and they know doggone well they're missing it. Javonte Williams has earned his spot, but he don't got that pop. When I look at Javonte Williams run the ball, does he run hard? Does he do? Yeah, he does all those things. But no matter what, when I watch him run, I'm never afraid of him popping a 40 or 50-yard run. I'm not afraid. So, because you know he doesn't have that pop, and you refuse, tell me anything you want to, because you refuse to even give Jaden Blue an opportunity, because you refuse to put a 4.3, sub 4.3, 40 running back who you drafted in the 5th round, who you refuse to give an opportunity. You're already using Kevontae Turpin at the 3rd wide receiver, so you can't use him in that capacity anymore as far as the surprise pop. So now you're back to trying to make CeeDee Lamb into that type of playmaker when we shouldn't be doing this no more. But we did it anyway, and trying to be smart on a play, you wound up getting CeeDee Lamb out now for weeks. It makes no sense. And this is one of those things with Brian Schottenheimer. Just got to admit it is what it is. Brian tried to be cute. Trying to be cute. Doesn't make sense. Now CeeDee Lamb is gone for. He's saying he playing the next game. Now they're saying he won't play this game. It might be the game after that. And a high ankle sprain is typically somewhere between, it could be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. It's going to be a tough 3 weeks. But I'm going to tell you something else that I learned that we should be paying attention to as far as it applies to the CeeDee Lamb injury. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's go.
You hate to see it happen, but no second thoughts.
Brian Todd Archer with ESPN. Pickens has been in the quote #1 role before. Is that a benefit that he has the experience knowing the attention that comes with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be nothing different for GP in that regard. But, again, if CD doesn't play, I think, he'll miss having his buddy out there with him. And I think that's where CD's leadership and professionalism will show up. You know, he'll certainly be getting ready to play. And if he doesn't, I think his leadership and his captain his makeup of why he's a captain will be important for, not just GP, but the other guys on offense. And, CD's tough, man. So, we'll see. I wouldn't bet against CeeDee Lamb, but we'll see how he does.
So, I'm just telling you, talk is cheap and bullcorn runs a marathon. Since we're here, y'all do realize that this offense, without CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on the field, do we not realize that this is basically the same offense we've had for the last 3 years? It's the same offense. It's the same offense without CeeDee Lamb on the field, or the same offense without George Pickens on the field. It's the same one. Now, Brian I understand he don't want to say it's doom and gloom. Just like he don't want to admit that it probably wasn't the right thing to do to have CeeDee Lamb out there running the ball. It's dumb. And now you're like, yeah, we got George Pickens, blah, blah. This is actually the same situation that you don't want George Pickens in, because it's the same situation he was in last season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the same situation you don't want him in, because we saw George Pickens in that type of setup where there was a lot of frustration. Because George Pickens is going to be frustrated out of his mind, because even if it's only 2 games, every team already has the blueprint on how to stop the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all do know every team already has the blueprint on how to stop the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to say something that some people are not going to want to hear, but I just got to tell the truth. Watching Ben Johnson, you want to talk about being wowed by somebody calling plays? Can we tell the truth? This dude, Ben Johnson, with less talent. This dude, Ben Johnson, with less talent. Even though he was playing us. But his plays. The dude is a play caller. End of story. The dude is a play caller. And I'm not saying that Brian isn't necessarily a play caller, because I think Brian is good at calling plays. But we have way too much firepower. Way too much firepower. And when you kind of look at how we've looked offensively, let me take you back. We had drop passes in the Philadelphia game. Dak Prescott is aggressively going downfield, drop passes. But when we came back against the New York Giants, we scored all of those points in a cluster. It was like the game gets on the line, everything, it's like we put all of this into a quarter. I mean, I just want you to understand that we're basically like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde right now. We then come back against the Chicago Bears, who they have multiple players hurt on their defense, and you wouldn't know it. I'm sorry, but I just got to say it. Brian Schottenheimer came out against the Chicago Bears with a post-toasty offensive game plan. It was post-toasties with no sugar and water. We didn't even use milk in the cereal. It was just water and post-toasties. How do you have George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, Jake Ferguson? How do you have that with a running game? You scored 14 points. How in the world can you not figure out how to run up the score with that kind of firepower? Explain it to me. Let me tell you something. I don't understand Brian Schottenheimer, especially this game. He went against his own philosophy. He said, start fast. Okay, start fast. How about you come out and y'all start putting teams on their doggone heels, offenses on their heels. You come out. Let me tell you what Ben Johnson would do if Ben Johnson had CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. Give that to Ben Johnson. I bet you. Oh, wait, did I forget? Rain Dakota Prescott? Give that to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson will come out and punch every single team in the mouth because he's going down the field. He will put every defense on their heels, no matter how good they are. Why? Because he's going to put them on alert. We're going down the field. Yeah, we're going down the field, and there's nothing you can do about it. This team is too talented offensively when you got both of those receivers. So I'm saying all that to say this. So now you're telling me, with only George Pickens on the field, and the number 2 receiver being Jalen Tolbert, now you're telling me you about to come out here and light it up for 2 weeks? I couldn't beat Green Bay. I couldn't be Green Bay's defensive coordinator right now. I'm salivating. I'm telling you, I'm licking my fingers right now. I can't wait to play the Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb. I'm salivating right now. I mean, you know, I understand Brian is like, yeah, you know what? No big deal. We got CeeDee. Okay. All this is last year's team without CeeDee on the field with George Pickens, or George Pickens on the field without CeeDee Lamb. Tell me how it's different. It's the same. It's the same offense. Javonte Williams, okay, we got a run game. Man, let me tell you something. I'm going to put you in a chokehold if I'm the Green Bay Packers now. Because I'm going to make it my business to stop the run now. Oh, yeah, now I'm going to make it my business. I'm going to double dog dare you to beat me with CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin. Because let's keep it 100% real. Jake Ferguson is a possession tight end. He's not a dynamic tight end. I'm not going to mention this man's name in the same sentence with Travis Kelce ever again. This dude is not a dynamic tight end. The season that we got from him a couple of years ago, that season is long gone. Jake Ferguson is leading tight ends in receptions, I believe, and maybe even yards. But you know what's even crazier? Not because of yards after the catch. Not because of yards after the catch. It's because of the number of receptions and where he's catching the ball. But yards after the catch? No. Not dynamic. I double dog dare you to beat me if I'm the Green Bay Packers. I'm not going doom and gloom on us, but I do want us to understand, kind of like I'm just saying, Brian proved me wrong. Brian, prove us all wrong. Prove us wrong. Because the real truth is, we've had a 3-game sample size of this dynamic offense. And the cruel reality is, okay, 1 game drops. 2nd game, it was crazy in the 4th quarter. 3rd game, 14 points. Who are we? Who are we? Tell me the consistency. Tell me the consistency. If there is ever, the only person right now on this team that I see is consistent is Rain Dakota Prescott. He's going to get all the blame. This man got 3 interceptions. 3 interceptions on the season. Let me hit you with something that's absolutely insane. Do y'all realize that on 3 of those interceptions, 1 interception against the New York Giants, now we go back and look at the film, it's not an interception. The ball hit the ground. The 2nd interception, or the 3rd interception, Dak Prescott hits George Pickens in the hands, and George Pickens, like someone playing volleyball, just volleyed the ball to the defender. So Dak Prescott, the 3rd interception in the end zone against the Chicago Bears, I don't even count that mess. It's garbage time. It was an interception. Dak Prescott couldn't step into the ball, pressure in his face, tries to throw it, couldn't step into it, interception. Game already over. I don't even care about those type of interceptions. You're down 31-14. You're trying to make something happen. I don't even care about that. That's a garbage time interception. Just like there are garbage time touchdowns, quarterbacks have garbage time interceptions and bad plays that are not attributed to bad play, but attributed to the fact that the whole team, that the team is just getting mollywopped. You're just trying to force something. I don't even care about that one, but we'll count that one. But the other 2, Dak Prescott should only have 1 interception on season. But this team, I know it's the third game. It's Overreaction Monday. So let's overreact a little bit. We have not seen what we thought, or I don't think any of us, if we admit it to ourselves, we have not seen what we thought we were going to see. Brian Schottenheimer called a game yesterday. He called a game like he was absolutely afraid. Brian Schottenheimer did not come out and punch Chicago in the mouth. I don't care nothing about the first two plays of Javonte Williams with those runs. If I'm Chicago, that's what I want you to do. I want you to do this with Javonte Williams. I want you to check the ball down to the tight end. I want you to play in front of me, Brian Schottenheimer. I want you to play in front of me. Because if you're going to be goofy enough to play in front of me, I don't play bend, don't break defense. No, I'm going to break you. Yeah, he don't play bend, don't break. He's going to break you. He's going for the break. How can I get the turnover? How can I knock your quarterback out? They were trying to do this to the Cowboys. They said, hey, put everything in front of us. Line up almost every play like we're either going to blitz so Dak Prescott can't get any pre-snap reads, and we'll either blitz or we'll either bail. And we're going to be coming so strong, so fast, Dak Prescott's going to get the ball out of his hand, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want to give him 2.5 seconds in the pocket, 3 seconds in the pocket, so he can dial it up and look down the field and see CeeDee Lamb or see George Pickens. No, that's not what they want. That's why he called the game the way he did. We're just going to admit it. I know Brian is being all nonchalant about this. I got news for us. News flash in case you didn't know this. Brian Schottenheimer, he got outplayed yesterday. He got outplayed yesterday with the defense coordinator. I'm telling you, he got outplayed, y'all. The defensive coordinator outplayed. He made Brian Schottenheimer do what he wanted him to do. Brian said start fast. He didn't start fast. When you start fast, to me, you put the game in the hands of your playmakers. Brian seemed like he was afraid. He was afraid to me. Because I'm telling you, I'm coming out. I got Rain Dakota Prescott. I'm punching you in the mouth. Nah, bro, I'm putting you on notice. I'm going to scheme CeeDee Lamb open. I'm going to scheme George Pickens open. I'm going to do some things that's going to get them free. Where's all this George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to the same side? Where's all this motioning CeeDee Lamb to the slot where George Pickens is lined up? Where's all this stuff? Where's all the razzle-dazzle we saw? Where is it? Man, we coming out here looking like plain Jane. Somebody's got to start asking these questions. This is not what we expected. By the third game, man, after that doggone Philadelphia game, I would have thought this thing would have been absolutely crazy. Now, the second game, okay, we said, okay, they got a very crazy pass rush. Man, we came out against a team that's crippled. What are we doing? The team was crippled. Schottenheimer's calling plays like, hey, man, we got to play it real careful today. Bro, you're playing careful and you're still getting your socks beat off. Forget it. Forget about it. If you're going to beat me, man, you're going to beat me swinging. I promise you're going to beat me swinging. You're not going to beat me up trying to dodge, duck, and block. No, you're going to hit me in the mouth. You're going to hit me in the mouth because I'm swinging. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to keep swinging. And I'm going to show you whatever it is I have, I'm showing you everything I have. I'm not leaving here today. I'm telling you, if I'm playing you, I'm not leaving here standing up, bro. They're going to have to carry me out on a stretcher if I'm coming in with the kind of firepower the Cowboys have on this offense. And Brian Schottenheimer, I don't care what anyone says, this dude came out conservative. This dude called a game like he was afraid. Bro, I don't care what anybody tell me. You tell me this team is missing their cornerbacks. You tell me this team is missing stuff all over the place. I'm going to do you like Ben Johnson did to Dallas Cowboys. Ben Johnson looked at the tape on the Cowboys and said, hold on a second. They got crippled Trayvon Diggs back there? Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. You got Trayvon Diggs. No Deron Bland. Kyrie Elam. Some dude named Stuart Reddy. What? I wish I would call a conservative game. Man, they had people missing on defense. The difference is Ben Johnson called the game like they had people missing, and we called the game like we were playing the Green Bay Packers and they're the best team in the league, or so everyone thought. Come on, man. Come on. And I'm telling you, Ben needs another year. I really think, not Ben, Brian needs a whole year. I said it before. I want to see him with a year under his belt. Because Brian, to me, I like his demeanor sometimes. But there's other times I'm like, bro, like yesterday. Y'all tell me. Because I'm looking at him yesterday and I'm like, am I looking at Mike McCarthy? Am I looking at Mike McCarthy with this game plan? What is this? What is this bull crap we're looking at yesterday? Tell me what you want to. Jamalism. He said it's frustrating to see a similar Mike type system with motion added with a lack of creativity while being scored on because of creativity. Are we in pre? Jamalism? I'm just wondering if I'm the only one that saw it. I'm telling you, you want the unadulterated truth? It's Overreaction Monday. I'm going to give you the cold, hard facts, whether somebody like it or not. I love the Cowboys. I'm going to always be for the Cowboys. But I'm telling you what we're watching. This dude, man, by the third game now. Come on, man. Come on now. It's the third game, bro. Y'all explain it to me. How in the world do you come in? How do you go to Chicago? Your defensive coordinator is the ex-coach of the Chicago Bears. And y'all don't have y'all team riled up. I'm the head coach. Let me tell you where I am. Hey, guys, let's prove to these jokers that our defensive coordinator, even though we're glad to have him, our defense coordinator, that they made the biggest mistake in the world by firing him. That should be our attitude. And we're going to show you that he's worth every penny. You come in there and get the doors blew up. Shoo, miss me. I'm going to make it my business. We winning this game today. I don't give a doggone what we got to do. We are winning this game in Chicago. Man, we walked into this thing like, hey, man, hey, this our first year coaching. This our first year coaching. We don't want to get everybody overexcited and riled up. Y'all remember what we talked about with Mike McCarthy? Couldn't get his team up for the big games. Was this not a big game? Y'all help me out. Was this not a big game? Somebody explain to me why we are not treating this. Why didn't we treat this like it was one of the biggest games of the season? Why didn't we treat it like that? Y'all tell me. Why didn't we do it? Why do we treat this game like it's just, hey man, this was not just another game. Brian gonna figure out something about being a head coach. See, Brian, man, I want to see a whole year from Brian because Brian gonna understand something. See, it's easy when you be assistant coach. It's easy when you the OC. And you sitting back there talking about the head coach ain't doing this and the head coach didn't do that. And if I was the head coach, I'd do this and I do that and I do this and I do that. It's easy to say that stuff. But now you're the head coach. You don't have to just get one unit up. Bro, you got to get all this unit up. And you got to find ways every single doggone game to get your team pumped up. And we can't be this, yeah, man, we even kill. Okay. Okay, be even kill. Be even kill you want to. Because I can tell you this. I don't know a team in this league. I don't know a team in this league that plays the Cowboys and say, we're going to be even kill. Shoo. What? Brian needs to understand what this is. Brian needs to understand what this is, Cowboys fans. You can't play games like no matter what we even kill because every team that comes in Dallas Stadium or every time you go to their stadium, they say this is the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody say they're America's team and we're mad about it. And if we haven't been getting it right, we about to get it right because we are about to give them the game of our life. Let me tell y'all something. The New York Football Giants, we'll never, this entire season, we won't see the game they had against the Cowboys again. Caleb Williams, best game of his career. What? How much y'all bet he won't have that game again? Teams come against the Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, and they throw even kill out the window, bro. It's the Dallas Cowboys. We getting up. Brian, you got to get your team to the point and say, we the Dallas Cowboys. We up for every game too. Man, and Brian Schottenheimer, look at this freeze I got right here. What they call this look right here with Brian Schottenheimer, just look at his body language. I've been noticing his body language. Look at his body language. All smug. All smug in his demeanor. He's all smug in his demeanor. You can tell he's a little bit defensive because he got the brakes beat off of him. He's in a little bit defensive mode. But he wants to play nonchalant like, yeah, man, he's CD Lamb. Yeah, we got George Pickens. Bro, stop it. Stop it. I've been a Cowboy fan my whole life. I've seen Bill Parcells. I've seen Jason Garrett. I've watched Mike McCarthy. Bro, you're going to have to play the game better than this. You acting all confident in your... Brian going to have to understand what I'm going to keep telling you. This line comes from New Jack City. Talk is cheap. Bullcorn runs a marathon. Nah, bro, show me the money. Show me the money. I love your interviews. You say all the right things. But when you hit the field, it's been 3 games. We ain't seen it. We have not seen it. Whether it be players dropping the ball, whether it be terrible play calling in the early games, whether it be the defense, I don't even know. We shouldn't even call our defense a defense because we not defending nothing. We need to come up with a whole new game for our defense because they're not defending nothing. We are not seeing the things that this man is talking about. And this is why I say, man, Brian gonna learn. Bro, you the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. This ain't the same like losing with the the Cleveland Browns, or losing with even the team Chicago Bears you played yesterday. This is not the same. Brian is talking to us, but we ain't seeing the results yet. And I'm telling you, that is going to get old. It's going to get old with the fans real fast. It's going to get old with the players by mid-season, bro. I'm telling you now. I don't know if we got some of the players on this team. I don't know if they're built for a Jimmy Johnson season. I don't know if they're built for a 1-15 or 1-16. I don't think this team is built to. There are some players on this team. I don't know if they're built for a 7-10 season. I don't know if they're built for it. And I'm telling you now, with CeeDee Lamb not playing, man, this thing, Brian gonna have to come out the woodworks with some plays, guys. He gonna have to come out the woodwork with some plays. Because you're gonna have to convince us. Man, I'm telling you, talk is cheap and bullcorn runs a marathon. You're gonna have to prove to me that you can look as good with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb not on the field. Shoot, you're going to have to show me. You're going to have to show me. Son of John, he said, I know your works. You were neither cold nor hot. I already know where you're going. He said, would that you were either cold or hot. So because you were lukewarm or neither not hot or cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a powerful statement. May it be what you are. Say what you mean and mean what you say and do it. But just saying stuff to make people feel good. Brian gonna understand something, son of John. Bro, you can tell us anything you want to. Jesus even told him in that passage, but I have this against you. Brian, bro, all this talk you did in the preseason, all this talk you have done now for 3 games, bro, somewhere there's gonna have to be, there's gonna have to be, man, you gotta show us the money. Bro, you gotta show us the money, man. Byron David, appreciate that $1.99 super chat. This is what got me too, Byron Joe David. The nonchalantness. Look at Brad Schottenheimer. All smug, nonchalant, got all the answers. This stuff will wear your team out. It will wear your team out. Your messages are going to start falling on deaf ears. And I'm telling you, this fan base will quickly abandon you. I'm riding with Brian because I said he needs a whole year. He needs a whole year. An entire year. And Jerry is going to have to get this dude some players. For all these people talking about, yeah, the Cowboys need to use those first round picks and do something now. No. Cowboys need to hold on to those first round draft picks with their dear life. They need to go in this next offseason. We got to see what this season is or what they have. Unless you're going to get a player and secure him for the next 3 to 4 years. You can't bring in no more players for no 1-year stuff or the rest of this season unless they're dirt cheap. Anybody else you bring in, especially if you're going to use those draft picks, no, they have got to be somebody that's in the plan for the next 2 to 3 years. This defense needs a lot of work. But again, man, Brian's sitting up on this thing like, yeah, man, no big deal. Yeah, we got this. Jamal Ism, appreciate the super chat. Again, he said we won't win a Super Bowl until the head coach knows we have to match the other team's intensity. Say it again. Say it again. Man, I'm telling us, Brian, I said it before this. Brian got to get a year on his belt because I just don't know if he understands the magnitude of being the head coach for the Cowboys. Bro, the moment you start saying we're going to win and we're going to win Super Bowls, well, hey, bro, you're going to have to get it in motion. We in week 4, and it ain't going to get no easier. We're in week 4, and it's not going to get no easier. Let me tell you something. When I was younger, and before I got in the church, y'all remember it be that girl that everybody knew they were easy? It's amazing what people would do when they found out somebody's easy, isn't it? They found out somebody's easy. What will they do? Everybody will go to the person who is easy and try to take advantage of them. Maybe there was a guy you knew. Everybody knew that gullible guy. He'll let you borrow money. He'll let you drive his car, or whatever the case may be. Everybody, you know what everybody did? They took advantage of him. The word is out on the Cowboys. They're going to have to change it. And ain't nobody can change it but them.
Defensively, you guys.
All right. I'm pretty sure that means they switched the video over. Give me just a second. I'm telling us, Cowboy fans, boy, Brian doesn't understand yet. Brian don't understand yet, man. It is a difference in wanting to be a head coach and being a head coach.
How's everybody doing?
Brian gonna figure this thing out real fast. Hey, bro. When the word get out on you, man, these teams are going to come out. Unlike how we're coming out with all the firepower that we have, no, these teams not coming out against us like that. Every single team we play, they're going down the field. Every single team we play until we stop them.
It's different things. And, defense is all about all 11 guys. He'll certainly be getting ready to play. And if he doesn't, I think his leadership and his captain, his makeup of why he's a captain will be important for, not just GP, but the other guys on offense. And, CeeDee's tough, man. So, we'll see. I wouldn't bet against CeeDee Lamb, but
Brady Cup said, yo, G, my guy, he said when an opposing team goes from a position on the field past you consistently, that's not called defense, it's called allowance. Straight up. Freddie, if Blue is lazy in the classroom, if that's going to continue to be our excuse, we did a bad scouting job on Jaden Blue. Did a bad scouting job on Jaden Blue. And that's not his fault, that's ours. Nisi said they were deflated after Javonte had that crazy fumble in the red zone. I mean, when the ball was snatched from him. Say it for the people in the back, Nisi. Javonte Williams. He's a powerful runner, doesn't have that pop. I want him to continue to be the running back for the Cowboys, but they need to get a running back with that pop. Because Nisi, him trying to be that powerful runner and always trying to enforce, he's always trying to dictate, he'll hit you head up, he'll go through two guys. Well, sometimes when you're doing that type of stuff, you got to be careful to take care of the ball too. And I still say, Brian Schottenheimer has got to be smarter. Your team is too dynamic, bro. Your team is too dynamic to come out with an anemic game plan. It's just terrible. KC, he says, the reason why Dak threw that interception on the goal line was because they were running the mesh concept and GP didn't run his route correctly and threw Dak off his read. It was designed to go to GP. And again, we're talking KC. We're talking at the end of the game. It wasn't even a big deal at that point. It really wasn't. Really wasn't a big deal at that point. Them boys were already done. Chicago had already cooked them. We were basically asking Dak Prescott to bring the team back from 31-14. Boy, let me tell you again, if there has ever been 3 games that says this team has continuously let Dak Prescott down, it's these 3 games. And now we've tied a hand behind his back again because it's the same thing it was last year. Ron Hanna said, y'all talking about money. What money got to do with how they playing? Because none of them worth the money they're making with the piss poor performance yesterday. Hey, man, this ain't about what they're making. This isn't about what they're making. We got to stop putting, I know people have expectations that come with money. My expectations is not the money. My expectations is the skill set that these men possess. They are too good. The team is too good, especially offensively. They are too good to be letting teams dictate to us what we're going to do. Brian Schottenheimer let the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears dictate to him what he was going to do. Brian Schottenheimer basically said, I'm going to take what they give me. And he took it. Hey, Jay, I'm not going to read the curse word, but I'm going to just say what you said. Let me translate it in a way y'all can read it on the screen. Jay, yeah, we got taken advantage of yesterday. Straight up.
We'll see how he does.
And defensively, you guys have been on this path for 4 or 5 months now, from the offseason to now. And we didn't see a bunch of busts in training camp. What do you put it on?
Woo! You hear what he just asked him? He said, we didn't see none of this stuff in training camp. Where's it coming from? Yeah, we didn't see it because we were playing against our own players. But that Chargers scrimmage, I'm just telling us, that Chargers scrimmage should have told us some things.
You know, it's a hard question, Todd. I mean, you know, there's been multiple things. I think, you know, I say it all the time, and you guys don't, you know, have to like the answer, but it's the truth. It's different things, you know.
Tell us what it is, Brian.
Trayvon comes up on a 3rd and 8. You know, he's a little too tight on 3rd and 8. Needs to play back. Comes up, goes for a quick jam, and his feet slip. So there's a touchdown. Very next play, they come out when they have the ball and they, you know, have a good play call, a risky play call. They call the flea flicker, and, you know, we got to have a little bit better discipline with our eyes.
Brian, there was no risk. There's no risk in any team calling the flea flicker on y'all. Tell me the risk. There's a risk with a team, with a defense, but not this team. A flea flicker is one of the greatest plays you could call against this team. Did I not tell y'all? Angie the Rebel Chick said the same thing. She was afraid of Ben Johnson. I said, me too. He brought the kitchen sink out on the Cowboys. He called a flea flicker. That is not a risky play against the Cowboys. That's a money play. Come on, Brian. That's a money play. That is a money play against the Cowboys. Brian, let me help you what you're trying to explain. Our defense is terrible. It's not multiple things. It's one thing. No, the defense is terrible. I don't know if you can necessarily put one finger on, once you get past the defensive line, the defense is terrible. Sanborn ain't what we thought he was going to be. Murray is mediocre at best. Damone Clark probably won't make it past this season. Kyer Elam is probably more. He's not the wide receiver that you want on the number one wide receiver, and I think that's where he's struggling. Trayvon Diggs is not healthy. And we got to stop making up excuses for our safeties, talking about their box safeties. Bro, if you can't play safety in the pass game, then the reality is you're not a safety. You're a hazard. Malik Hooker, right there in the red zone. It's right there on television. Everybody sees it. Lets the tight end go right in the back of the end zone. Tell me why the Cowboys sent 3 players on 1 player, 1 wide receiver to the right, and let the tight end creep right past them into an empty part of the zone. It is not supposed to be an empty part of the zone when you're that close in the red zone, because the end zone is the play. The end zone is a defender too. You're not supposed to let somebody get in the back of the end zone in the red zone playing zone. Explain it to me. Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson both yesterday should have been benched. And they should be benched this week. I can put my finger on it, Brian. I can. Your defense is terrible. Overall, your defense is terrible. Every one of the coaches on that thing, from the linebackers coach to the secondary coach to Matt Eberflus. The defensive line coach, he fine. But everything else, it's terrible. I can put my finger on it. No, you don't have to tell me it's not multiple things. No, your defense is terrible.
When the 2 receivers kind of release down inside, like, that's not who they crack. They don't crack the deep post safety. And Mozzie did a great job of really just, knocking it back and the backs lobbing it back there. And then Caleb makes, a really good play. We lose a vertical seam on a touchdown right before the end of the first half. So it's different things. And,
no, it's not.
Defense is all about all 11 guys.
No, it's not, bro.
You could go through each play of the film and point out different things. And that's kind of what we talked about with our guys during the team meeting.
Brian, bro, if you can point out multiple things, it's one thing. Your defense is terrible, bro. It's the bottom line. Your defense is terrible. Dominique Pittman said, watch the language on G Channel or get timed out. Appreciate you, Dominique Pittman. Yeah, let's keep it clean. But hey, get your point across, though. Let's keep it clean.
I went through it and I said, at the end of the day, we did not offensively have enough explosives. Give them credit. They kept a lid on us. I think we had 6. And then we gave up 6 explosives for like 215 yards. And we're not giving up. The league clarifies them as 12-yard runs are explosives and 16-yard passes are explosives. We're not giving up 16, 17, 18-yard explosives. We're giving up 35 and 40 and 45.
Yeah. Say it like it is, Brian. Say it. Matt Eberflus needs to hear it. Say it. This dude's defense, and I'm not going to blame it all on the players. Bro, at some point, I got to be a man about this. If I'm the defense coordinator, and this is the team that I have, I'm not going to come up with a game plan for the team that I want to have. I'm going to come up with a game plan for the team that I do have. It's why you're the coach. You're supposed to put your team in the best situation to win. That's your job. Let me tell you something about this league. You don't get to complain about you don't have the players. You don't get to complain about that. You can complain about it. But what good does it do if I'm not going to give you any more players? Hey, let's have this same energy we had with Mike McCarthy last year. Let's have that same energy. They didn't give Mike McCarthy no players in a lame duck season. He didn't get his man nothing and told him, go out there and prove it. Yeah, we know you're decimated with injuries. Go out there and prove it. Eberflus, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt from this standpoint. I understand what you don't have, but you ought to understand what you don't have too. So you need to devise a game plan. Let me tell you what you're supposed to do as the defensive coordinator. You devise a game plan like you don't have DeRon Bland. You devise a game plan like you don't have Michael Parsons. You devise a game plan to keep everything in front of your defense. You devise a game plan for what you have, not what you want to have. That's the NFL. That's the NFL. Talk is cheap. Bullcorn runs a marathon. You can tell us this stuff, and Brian has told us this stuff how many weeks? Did he not just say, I know you're getting tired of hearing it. Yeah, and your players are going to get tired of hearing it too. And especially if, let me tell you one of the worst things you can do. This is why the Chicago Bears defense and why the Chicago Bears team closed their ears on Eberflus. They got tired of this man blaming them for how trash they were. They got tired of this man blaming them for how trash they were. You can tell me the players all you want to. But somebody has got to say, hey man, but you the coach. So can you put me in a position to where I can succeed? But whew, boy, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Brian's got to be very careful. Because if he's not careful, his team will become tone deaf. He's got to be very careful. Very, very careful. And especially since you've already mentioned the Super Bowl word. Very careful. At some point, Brian, you're going to have to come to the media and, yeah, we made a decision. Yeah, tell us. Yeah, we've made a decision. We're doing this, and we're doing this. And even if you're not going to tell us, you're going to have to eventually come to us and say, yeah, there's going to be some changes. Because we're not tolerating this. How much you bet Jimmy Johnson would have told everybody? No, we're not putting up with this. Even if he is losing, Jimmy's going to say, we're not putting up with this here. And you would have saw Jimmy doing stuff.
Ivan, at the end of the day, that's not good enough, man. And so, had good meetings. We've talked through things. We're changing up things. Not going to get into what those things are to improve it and make it better from the way we meet, from the way we're game planning, all that stuff. But the players are not the only ones that have to be better. I have to be better. Flus has to be better. Clayton has to be better. Nick has to be better.
No, bro. No, Brian. I get you. Yeah. You're saying the team stuff. But you have got, like you said, okay, so now you said we made changes. So now you're going to have to show us. And it's a heck of a week to show us too. Because now you got the Green Bay Packers, who probably look let me tell you, the Green Bay Packers, I'm not going to poo-poo on the Cleveland Browns, but the Packers probably looked past the Cleveland Browns, thinking it was an automatic win. We about to get to the Cowboys. We going to tear them up. Okay. You forgot to tell Cleveland. Now Green Bay going to come up in here, and they're going to be ready to show out. Especially, let me tell you, watch the intensity of the Green Bay Packers Sunday night versus the Cowboys when the Cowboys played the Chicago Bears in Chicago. We didn't go into the game with the intention of a revenge game. We went in there saying, okay, even kill, we're just going to get better, blah, 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 that kind of talk. How much you bet the Green Bay Packers, their entire team, they want this game for Michael Parsons? I hope he's ready for that intensity. it won't just be Michael Parsons. The entire Green Bay team, they want this next game for Michael Parsons. You watch what I tell you. I hope we're ready to match that intensity. Green Bay is coming in this thing, and they're going to leave it all on the field. You watch what I tell you. Especially after a loss. Now with Michael Parsons on this team, they're going to leave it all on the field. Tony Nichols, he said, Eberflus is Nolan 2.0. Dude, bye. Appreciate that super chat. Woo, boy, that's some strong words. I've been seeing them words going across the internet, boy. Nolan? Boy. He looking like it too. Yeah, I got to agree with you. He looking like it too. Nisi says they have to stick with what works until the ops defense stop it. Remember Garrett's offense? Same old until they stopped it, and he ran the same plays. Big Rambowski, he says, this defense doesn't have the NFL talent to play either zone or man. Big Rambowski. So now it's up to them. They have to figure out something that works. They have to figure out something that works. But this is the NFL. You don't get those excuses. I'm sorry, it is what it is. You don't get those excuses. And I'll tell you this, boy, I'm going to give Mike Zimmer some credit. I'm going to give Mike Zimmer some credit just like I did last year. Boy, let me tell you something. Mike Zimmer, the one thing you couldn't accuse Mike Zimmer of last year, even during all those injuries, you know one thing that we saw? Boy, he was trying his butt off. Zimmer was trying. Zimmer was making, man, he was doing all kinds of, Zimmer was doing everything he could do. Zimmer was doing everything he could do. And this is why we didn't kill Zimmer. Because we saw what Zimmer was working with. But let me tell you this, Zimmer worked it. Zimmer worked it. Zimmer didn't do no complaining about, no, Zimmer worked it. Zimmer did his thing with little. He did. He did it. But I'm telling us, he's saying the right stuff. Now, he does this every single week, and I love Brian. He says the right thing, and I think that carries well in the locker room. But, boy, let me tell you something. This Green Bay game is dangerous. I'm telling us this Green Bay game is dangerous. If the Green Bay Packers mollywop the Cowboys, it's going to be a long season. Y'all get ready. If they mollywop, now if they beat us by 3, the team will be like, okay, they only beat us by 3, we good to go. We just got to we're on the right track. Now we can build off of this. But if they mollywop us, we're in danger. I don't know if we got the team. And again, you talk about this culture the Cowboys have. Man, let me tell you something. This is the type of, the way they're beginning, this is the type of stuff that'll test the culture. We're going to see what it is. We're going to see what it is. And I tell you what, Rombowski, you said your favorite play was DJ Moore standing there by himself in the back of the end zone, waving to Caleb to throw in the ball. Reminded me of middle school football. Man, I'm going to tell you, my favorite play was, man, I had flashbacks. Some of y'all might not remember during the draft season, I was talking about Luther Burden III. Boy, when I saw Luther Burden III catch that doggone flea flip, boy, I couldn't do nothing but shake my head. I couldn't do nothing but shake my head when I saw that flea flicker.
For us to go where we want to go. But that being said, we're 3 games into the season, and there's a lot of football left.
It's Overreaction Monday, Brian.
I remember a couple of years ago where I think it was defensively, they met as a group, all positions. It wasn't separate. They got all together, And guys seem to think that helped get everybody on the same page. Is that kind of some of the things you're thinking about? Like,
I really do think you have us bugged because that's the second week in a row. No, that's one of the things that we talked about today, and that's something that we're going to do for sure. Because if there is at times a lapse in communication, then how do you foster that? Well, you foster it by having the guys all in a room together, and that's nothing revolutionary. It doesn't automatically solve the problem.
Boy, I got to read this comment from Angie. Whew. Angie, I have got to get me a mic drop sound effect. You just dropped a microphone on this one right here, Niecy. This is a microphone drop. Niecy said, G, Flus came back to Chicago like Mike McCarthy went to Green Bay, scared. Mic drop. Standing ovation. Standing ovation. Niecy. Scared. Even Brian Schottenheimer can say anything he want to. He called that game scared to me. Brian Schottenheimer called that game like he didn't trust Dak Prescott and like he didn't trust his defense. I can get him not trusting his defense. I can't get him not trusting Dak Prescott. And maybe it's not so much he didn't trust Dak Prescott, but maybe he just wanted to follow suit with what I talked about. Ball control, keep the Chicago Bears off the field so that his defense didn't have to be on the field for a long time. Problem is, Niecy, y'all can start counting how many times I get y'all mixed up. Problem is, Niecy, you gotta convert those drives into touchdowns, though. You can't convert those into field goals. You have to convert those drives into touchdowns if you're going to keep the Chicago Bears off the field. You put them behind the 8 ball because then you can get them to make mistakes. But if you let them start playing with a lead, man, they was out there showboating on the Cowboys. But I give Ben Johnson credit, y'all. I give Ben Johnson credit. He didn't run a score up on him the way he could have. I give Ben Johnson credit. I give Ben Johnson credit. He could have ran that score up on the Cowboys. That man could have scored 45 on the Cowboys. I give him credit. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't pull the old let's let a lineman catch a touchdown. He didn't do it. I got to give it to him. Got to give it to him. But he played scared. Brad Schottenheimer can say what he wants to say. He called that game scared to me. He called that game like he was afraid of the Chicago Bears. I'm sorry, but this is just my thought process. I got the best offense in the league. And I'm going to call my game like I have the best offense in the league. I'm going to call my game like I have a top 5 quarterback. I'm going to call my game like I got CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to call my game like I got George Pickens. I'm going to call my game like I have one of the fastest players in the NFL with Kevontae Turpin. That's how I'm going to call my game. I'm not calling the game like I'm scared. Ooh, I don't want to make mistakes. When you call a game not to make mistakes, you make mistakes.
It still has to carry over to the field.
Yeah.
Again, the standard is not the standard, and therefore we will make changes. And
Okay.
some will be schemes, some might even be personnel. We'll see. But we expect to play better against a really good opponent coming in here Sunday night.
Okay.
John Machota with The Athletic. Do you believe?
Okay. I like what he said. He said personnel. Okay. He said personnel. They need to change the personnel. We'll talk about that a little bit later. They need to change the personnel. Okay, what's the other change? Is it scheme? Because Matt Eberflus needs to change his scheme. He needs to change his scheme. And changing the scheme more than likely means in order to change the scheme, you're going to have to change the personnel. So we're going to be looking for those two changes. I'm going to tell you something about this team that they need to be careful of too. I believe that they're trying to copy a model of the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they're trying to copy a model of where they got all these rotational pieces on defense. And I get it. I get it because, people say copy what works. It's a copycat league. Well, a lot of people have, you can copy people all you want to, but this is the point that people don't understand. If you're going to copy someone, first you have to understand that maybe you don't have the same personnel. So if you don't have the same personnel, then you can't copy what those people do. Maybe you copy some of what they do, and then you say, okay, now, what parts can we actually do? I think this is what we're watching with them. They're trying to emulate something that they can't emulate. Just like Matt Eberflus. He wants to rush 4, drop 7. That ain't working for this team. That's not working for this team. Maybe Matt Eberflus says, nah, bro, we rushing 6. Maybe he says, bro, we rushing 6. We're not rushing 4. We're rushing 6. So y'all get ready. I'm just telling you, if I'm going out with a bang. If you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me. I promise you, you're not just going to beat me. You're going to beat me. You're going to beat me giving you everything I have. Hey, you know what? We're rushing 6 today, guys. Get ready. Yeah, we're rushing 6. Yeah, somebody going to be running open, Coach G. Yeah, they're already running open. This is what this team has got to understand. I don't care they're running open. They're already running open. I bet you this, they won't be, if they're running open, I bet you this, the quarterback better get the ball out in 1.2 seconds. He better get it out in 1.2 seconds because we're sending 6. We're not sending 5. They got 5 down linemen. They can block 5. We sending 6. And if they line up in the wrong position, we're sending 7. Man, I'm telling you, Cowboys need drastic changes. And against the Green Bay Packers, go for broke. Go for broke, man. I don't care if you can't play man-to-man. Play man-to-man. Bring 6, bring 7. Do what you need. Do what you need to do. Don't give me no excuses of, yeah, man, but we're going to get beat. You're getting beat playing zone. Shoot. You got to do what you got to do.
Believe that all the defensive players have bought into what Matt Eberflus wants to do in his scheme?
Yeah, I don't have any reason.
Wait, hold on. Let me get these 2 super chats. Star Guardian X, appreciate that super chat. Star Guardian X, hold on now. It's Overreaction Monday. Y'all, it's Overreaction Monday. We can overreact on Monday. We're going to be back to normal on Tuesday. It's Overreaction Monday. I think the season is going to be better, Star Guardian X. I do. I think the season is going to be better because I believe that Matt Eberflus is going to make a change because I'm listening to Brian Schottenheimer and I'm hoping what I'm hearing is he's going to force Matt Eberflus to make changes. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm hoping that it's true. He's going to force him to make changes. It's going to get better because when the Cowboys get healthy, they will be better. Now, the issue is the Cowboys are going to have to figure out a way over the next 6 games to at least come out of this thing 3-3. They have got to come out of these next few games. They got to figure out a way to come out 3-3. We're 1-2 right now. The Chicago Bears game was a game that you needed to get. That would have put you at 2-1. So now the Cowboys have got to figure out a way to get back. I'm just being honest. They got to beat Green Bay. The Dallas Cowboys have to beat Green Bay. They have to. They have got to figure out a way to beat Green Bay. And maybe, who's to say? Maybe the Cowboys look past. Maybe the Cowboys look past the Chicago Bears because maybe they thought the Bears were bad. And they're getting ready for the Green Bay game. So what if both of these teams, what if Green Bay looked past Cleveland, and what if the Cowboys looked past the Bears, and both of them thought that those were going to be easy games because they're both getting ready for each other? Maybe that's what we saw. I'm hoping maybe that's what we saw. Maybe we get a game from the Cowboys that we didn't think we were going to get. They have got to find a way to beat Green Bay. I don't think the season is lost. It's only game 3. It's not like we haven't started slow before. Problem is we start slow. But the Cowboys got a little run in there after the Green Bay game. The Cowboys have 4 very winnable games. If they can get their defense situated over the next week and find a way to win this game, then maybe that little 3 to 4 game stretch, they can win some. They can win 3 or 4 of those. They can win 3 of those games. Win 3 of those games and get to something around 3-3. But I don't think the season is over yet. I don't think the season is over. This is just, like I said, I believe Brian needs a year as a head coach. And I also don't think they have the roster that they need to do everything he's trying to do. But I hope, and I think he understands, you don't get that excuse once you become a head coach. Bro, you got to do what you have. Terry Tatum, appreciate that $2 super chat. Sub-Zero Prime, appreciate that $2 super chat also. Appreciate you.
Yeah, why not? I think when you're not playing well, John, there's going to always be doubts. And that's the other thing I said to the guys today. I really told them 2 things. I said, number 1, today is all about us. Let's focus on us. Let's go through these meetings. I talked about the things I messed up in the game. There's certainly things I messed up in the game. And I was open about that. I said, you guys have to do the same thing. Take accountability for the things you did. One thing I'll say for Trayvon that was really powerful for me to see is immediately after the long touchdown pass, he was like, hey, that's on me, and that's progress, man. So, again, confidence in this league is interesting because it comes and goes fast when you're playing in such a competitive league. And
yes,
I don't
sir.
think it will take long for us to get the confidence back, but I would understand why guys might be like, oh, what about this, what about that? But no, I have complete trust in what we're doing from a scheme standpoint. We'll look at maybe making some changes. We will make some changes. But yeah, in terms of the players, I think that they've bought into what we're trying to do as a football team, and we just got to execute better.
What would you say gives you the most confidence that that stuff will get fixed, that it won't be a third, game in a row of the big plays like that?
I would say it starts with the leadership that we have on this football team. Guys like Donovan Wilson, guys like Osa.
See. Let me read a couple comments here. Gwen said, hey, G, the Cowboys always play down to these teams with losing records. The Cowboys look like a peewee team. This is the same old stuff. Jared needs to fire the whole defensive coaches. Now, Gwen Bowden. So if they play down the teams, then next week, we're expecting a great game, right? Then we're expecting a great game next week. We're expecting a great game coming Sunday. We do. Big Rumbowski, you're exactly right. There was no energy on defense because all of you younger players that could bring the energy were on the bench. Yep. I give that to you too. But I'm telling you, Brian is saying the right things, but you got to show these guys to do the right things. Because if you don't get them to if they don't start seeing some progress, they are going to, as he's saying right here, man, you lose confidence very fast in this league. And the only way you can get it back is winning. Not competing, winning. They always say winning is the cure for all. Winning is the cure for all. Brian's got, and I'm liking what I'm hearing. Brian is saying we're going to make some changes. Okay. We still riding with you, Brian. We riding with you. But you got to show us. You talk us to death. You talk us these good games, and you gaslight us, boy. We get fired up. But I'm telling, I hope Brian went in and told his whole team, guys, I didn't even call this game right. I hope, because Brian, they just didn't look like they had any energy from the moment the game got going. No energy.
Guys like Malik Hooker.
Oh, wait, that's where I was. This is the part that's got me steaming right now. This is the part that's got me steaming. Listen to this answer right here.
With the leadership that we have on this football team, you know, guys like Donovan Wilson.
What? This man just asked Brian. Now, this is the kind of stuff that'll make people stop listening to you. This is the stuff that'll make people close their ears. Listen to this question. Listen to this answer.
Into what we're trying to do as a football team, and we just got to execute better.
What
Listen to the answer. Listen to the question and listen to the answer.
would you say gives you the most confidence that that stuff will get fixed, that it won't be a third, game in a row of the big plays like that?
I would
He says, what gives you the confidence that it is going to get better and it won't be like the first 3 games that we've seen? Listen to the names Brian Schottenheimer says.
say it starts with the leadership that we have on this football team. You know, guys like Donovan Wilson, guys.
What? Brian Schottenheimer, it's Overreaction Monday. The first name out of your mouth has to be Dak Prescott. I know all you Cowboy fans know this. The only chance this team has is Rain Dakota Prescott. That's the only chance they have. And unfortunately, it's been like that, and it is like it is right now. He's the only hope this team has. And you say that what gives you the confidence that it's going to change, and you say Donovan Wilson? Cam Newton said this. Cam Newton said, players, watch the game too. Players watch the game too. Players know who's doing good and who's doing bad. And this is the part that's disturbing to me. Because Donovan Wilson has a C on his chest. They're telling us, guys, whether we accept it or not. I noticed Matt Eberflus did this in his last interview. They're telling us that they are going to refuse to remove Donovan Wilson. They don't care how bad Donovan Wilson plays. They made Donovan Wilson a captain. And so when it comes to Donovan Wilson, they're going to take the blame for his bad play. This man said Donovan Wilson. This sounds like somebody trying to babysit somebody's ego. Bro, I'm sorry. If I'm in that doggone locker room and you mention Donovan Wilson, the only thing that flashes in my head is every touchdown this man gave up against the New York Giants and his play against the Chicago Bears. And you're telling me he's going to be the reason? Nah, bruh. Nah. I'm not listening to this. I'm not buying this. In my mind, In my mind, I'm like, no, you want to prove to me that you're serious? Rip that C off his chest and put his butt on the bench. You want to get me hyped up? I'm a player. You want to get me hyped up? Hey, we sitting Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker on the bench. Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas, y'all up. You want to get me fired up? You want to get me fired up? If I'm in that locker room, get me fired up by telling some folks you sitting your butt down. Yeah, you get me fired up then because you telling me, yeah, now you going to give me my chance. Sanborn, sit your butt down. Damone Clark, sit your butt down. Maurice Leafau, you up. Dante Fowler, I don't care how much money we paying you. Sit your butt down. James Houston, you up. Sam Williams, sit your butt down. Jadeveon Clowney, we doing some things different now. Y'all two are getting the majority of the snaps. Y'all will be getting 40 snaps a game until further notice. 40 plus snaps. You want to fire me up? Yeah, you're going to show me some moves, but don't you stand in front of me. Don't you stand in front of me. And when somebody says, how we going to make some changes? Donovan Wilson, what? Bro, the moment you said Donovan Wilson, you turned me off. Wait a minute. Listen to the next name he mentioned. Listen to this.
Like Osa, guys like Malik Hooker.
What? You can't make this up. Who been giving up the plays, y'all? Help me out. Who been giving up the plays? Isn't it strange? He mentions the two players that have been giving up the points. We literally watched Malik Hooker let the tight end run right by him. And for no reason, there's the receiver that he runs to already has two. You can't make this up. He already had 2 men on him. Malik Hooker looked at the other 2 men on him and decided to get on him too and let the tight end walk right by him. Brian, you got to stop this. I don't know how you sell this to your team. I'm serious, guys. I don't know how you sell this to the team. How do you sell this to the team? If you telling me we're about to make changes, you can't bring up Malik Hooker. You can't bring up Donovan Wilson. I'm telling y'all, there'll never be another Jimmy Johnson. And I don't necessarily want Brian Schottenheimer to be Jimmy Johnson. I just want Brian Schottenheimer to be exactly what he said he was. Bro, when you tell me competition, compete every day, then doggone it, let somebody else compete. Let Marquise Bell compete. Let Wanye Thomas compete. Let Maurice Leafau compete. I don't care what nobody's saying about Jaden Blue. Miss me with the Jaden Blue, can't read a doggone playbook. He's a running back. He can't, I don't care about blocking. I didn't get this man to block. Yeah, he got to get, I didn't get him to play special teams. I don't care what he's doing on the Gunners. He's a running back. Bro, all I want you to do is get the ball and run fast. That's all I want you to do. We keep making excuses. We got to stop making excuses. Then we put Mozzie out there. Yeah, man, Mozzie. I don't want to hear nothing about Mozzie. Your defensive line is not your problem, bro. Your defensive line is not your problem. I don't need to hear nothing about Mozzie Smith. Kenny Clark is balling. Also, Dickie Zoo is balling. I don't need to. Solomon Thomas is balling. I don't need to hear nothing about your defensive line, bro. They doing their thing. If you don't say another word about Mozzie Smith, nobody would be mad. But I tell you what would make me mad. You telling me the way we gonna change things is Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker? Hey, coach. Hey, can I go to the bathroom? I gotta go to the bathroom, bro, because I can't hear no more of this. Can't do it. Can't do it. Eric Griffin, I told you already, I'm still riding with Shotty, bro. I'm riding with Shotty all year long. It don't mean I'm not gonna tell you the truth. Brian Schottenheimer has been doing a lot of great things, but here becomes the problem. I mentioned this, Eric. You might have missed some of these sessions. I already mentioned this. Brian Schottenheimer always says the right things. And I said this. Brian Schottenheimer has to be careful, always having all the answers. Everybody, every one of us have to be careful with always having all the answers. Because somebody who has the right answers, Eric, and I said it before, the problem with having all the right answers is the fact that you have to always give the right answers. That's the problem with it. Eventually, Eric, this is why I keep mentioning this statement from New Jack City. Talk is cheap. Bullcorn runs a marathon. You do know Bullcorn will run a marathon. It'll run all day long. Bullcorn will run as long as you let it run. Now, bro, you got to show us the money now. You got to show us the money. You got to start showing us that what you're saying, you're putting it into practice. And I'm telling you right now, if you telling me that you're going to make changes to make things better, but then you tell me that Malik Hooker, what? And Donovan Wilson, what? Y'all remember what I told you last week? I'm SCRUGGLIN. I'm struggling. Nah, I'm struggling now. I'm struggling. You just told me the two players that we need to change out are going to be the players that bring the change. Okay, well, tell me how they're going to bring the change. They volunteered to sit their butt down? Okay. But from what we've seen so far, bro, you can't sell me on Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. You can't do this to us, Brian.
They're prideful guys, man. And they realize that we can't be giving up explosive plays. We have to be better on third down. We're not getting off the field on third down. I think we're last in the league on third down. So we'll take a hard look at that. I think we're giving up something like 55% or something on third down. And it's actually, I think we're middle of the pack in what that third down D&D is. It's like third and 7.2 or something is what the average is. But we're giving up like 9.2 yards on third down. And that along with the explosives are hurting us. And again, I understand why teams don't want to try to run the ball against us. I wouldn't run the ball against our defense. We're playing the run really well. I'd sling it all over the place. And that's unfortunately what we're allowing to happen. And, until we do something about it, it's what we're going to see for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, Brian, let's say it for what it is, bro. Why would they run on you when they could just have a throwing party on you? Why they running on you, bro? Explain it to me. Why would they run on you? If I was playing the Dallas Cowboys, if I'm the Green Bay Packers, man, hey, bro, we only need about 5 running plays. Only 5? Yeah, because they can't stop. They can't stop. What do we need 10 for? They can't stop 1. Hey, all we need is 5. All we need is 5 plays. 5 plays and we done. Because they can't stop 1, so all we need is 5.
Nick Harris, former Star Telegram, when you talk about potential personnel changes, is that something you address with the guys at the beginning of the week, or is that something you just kind of keep an eye on as a practice week goes by and make that decision later on?
It's a great question, Nick. It's things that we discussed a little bit today. Nothing's been finalized. You got to see how the injuries play out. You got to see, okay, this guy's going to be okay. It's no different than the Mozzie and Jay thing. Okay, who's earned the right to play? Who maybe is struggling a little bit. And, I'm a big believer, and nobody likes to hear this as a player, but sometimes it's very powerful to watch. I think sometimes when you sit on the sidelines and you watch it, there's things you can learn and garner. But, no, I mean, we haven't finalized any of those decisions. But, again, nothing's off the table. Those will be decisions that we probably get more into tonight and tomorrow. And then once we make those decisions, we talk to the guys about it, why. They're going to know based on who's running with the ones and who's up on special teams and who's not. But, again, you never know how things change fast in this league. I mean, all of a sudden you're doing a workout pregame to see, who's going to be your extra player and stuff. And so everybody's got to stay ready. That's the professional part of the NFL football. But yeah, we communicate with everybody.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some people on this team that have pretty much been saying, when are you going to change out Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker? I'm just telling you, those two guys, they can't play zone. I don't know how else to slice it with Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. They can't play zone. I don't know how you simplify defense any more than zone. I don't know how else do you simplify it, man. Those two now. Trayvon Diggs is just getting beat, and I don't even know. Some of us, we're saying he's not healthy yet, guys. I don't know if he'll ever be healthy again. I don't know if he'll ever be healthy again. Not healthy enough to be what he was. Even when he is 100% healthy, I don't know if he'll ever be what he was. But again, you have to be able to admit what you are and make the changes where needed. But doggone it, the two safeties, they can't play zone. They can't play zone. There's no other way to slice it. They can't play zone. So if you want to play zone defense, they can't play zone. There's no other way to slice it. I just saw here, some of y'all been talking about it. Looks like Tyler Booker is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Cowboys going to have to be careful with this. Y'all do know that Tyler Guyton is struggling again, right? Tyler Guyton is struggling. The man was getting his socks beat off yesterday. Terrence Steele, struggling too. Struggling. The meat of the offensive line, the meat of it. Cooper Beebe out 6 to 8 weeks. Now we got Tyler Booker out 4 to 6 weeks. Boy, you can't make this up. Dak Prescott is going to be running for his life. He's going to be running for his life. That's the only way to slice it. That's going to be running for his life. The Green Bay Packers, let me tell y'all something. Even if they didn't have Micah Parsons, the Green Bay Packers were already a high-pressure defense. They were already high-pressure people. Now they got Micah Parsons. And he is revved up for this Cowboys game. Man, how you going to face the Green Bay Packers with Micah Parsons and the defense that was already ridiculous? How you going to face that defense? No Cooper Beebe. No Tyler Booker. Woo! Boy, we're going to have to be praying this week, boy. Praying harder than we ever. Ooh-wee. Start guarding next. One bright spot, G. I love how Williams runs the ball. He runs very well. But he also made a crucial mistake. He also made a very crucial mistake. That fumble, it took it out of him. That's number 2. Nisi said it right. That idiotic fumble, that deflated that team. That deflated them. You have to get that touchdown. The thing that messed up the Cowboys in this game is these doggone field goals. And did I not say? I don't want Kevontae Turpin playing a traditional third wide receiver. Kevontae Turpin on the field is big play time. Yeah, it's big play time with Kevontae Turpin on the field. When I got Kevontae Turpin on the field, you know what I'm telling you? You need to be ready for the big play every single time. Because with Kevontae Turpin on the field, you better believe he's going to be running crossing routes. I'm going to be running pick plays. Somebody's going to be in motion. I'm going to I'm telling you, I promise you, with Kevontae Turpin, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb on the field, man, I'm gonna make sure defense coordinator having nightmares. I'm running stuff on him he never even imagined. Man, you got Kevontae Turpin. Why ain't we throwing in flea flickers? Why aren't we running double reverses? Why aren't we running all kinds of gadget plays? We should be running Kevontae Turpin. Hey, Kevontae Turpin, we're going to give a reverse and then let you throw it. We're going to give you a wide receiver pass. Man, let me tell you something. You can't have this firepower and coming out with a stale as toast, post-toasty game like he did. You can't do it. But again, boy, you telling me things going to change and then you bring up the reason why it's Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker? Shoot, boy, I'm looking at you side-eyed. I can't even do it. Robert Davis Jr., he said the problem started in the preseason for our defense. Shotty knew then and said nothing to Eberflus, giving him media praise, knowing he was not putting those players in the right scheme. Shotty fix it. Robert Davis. Shotty got to be careful with this stuff. Bro, you can't be out here saying some of the stuff you're saying about changes and all that, and then you say that the reason why this thing is going to get better is Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. Bro, only thing we want to hear is you saying they sitting down this week. That's all I want to hear. Because if you tell me they sitting down, I'm applauding you. I'm like, yeah, man, this dude is serious about winning. But if you're going to come up here and you're going to try to talk these dudes up, come on, Brian. Come on, man. You can't do this, bro. You can't do this with a straight face. You can't do it.
The bland is getting overall because we get him on the practice.
Yeah, I think he's doing good. I think he's trending to play.
Patrick.
Deron Bland is going to help the Cowboys coming back.
Hey, Coach Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Two-part question, same position though. With CeeDee Lamb going out, obviously you called more opportunities for Ryan Flanoy. First part of the question, can you talk about how he handled those opportunities and how the potential absence of CeeDee can help him as far as being more productive in the offense?
Yeah, young player that really liked the talent, liked the size, liked the strength. He played good. He made some really good plays for us. They came after us late. We were backed up, fourth down, and I don't know, 5 or 6, and they had a cover 0. And Dak made a great check, made the perfect check, and hit Ryan on an out route, kind of a contested catch, which was great. Those were things that I would have told you probably this time last year. Man, I don't know if Dak throws that ball to him. He might have gone someplace else. But I think it shows you guys that he trusts all of our guys, and I think that's important. And I think that's part of the maturation of Dak. You know, he knows that, ball's going to get spread around, and they're going to lean to different people, and they did a nice job of that yesterday, leaning into George. People are going to do that. That's all part of the
Shoddy
game.
Dak Prescott
But
been spreading
I
the
do
ball
believe,
around,
like,
bro.
we have other guys that will make people pay if they do that.
To that point, I'm going to segue to one of your weapons that you have on reserve right now, Jonathan Mingo. He's approaching the eligibility for his practice window. How's he progressing, and where is he in his rehab?
He's doing good. Again, I think he's trending to get back sooner rather than later. And the big part with guys like that is you want to make sure mentally they're into it. Because 4 weeks or whatever it becomes, 6 weeks, you work on your body so hard. You work so hard on getting your body right, and whatever your part of your body's ailing, you work and work and work, and you do that, which is the priority. But you got to stay in the game mentally. And so I think that's what the focus will be with a guy like Jonathan Mingo this week is, hey, man, you're close. So let's make sure we're on the finer points of the game plan and all that stuff. And because I think that gives them confidence coming off once they're ready to go play.
The Cowboys need Jonathan Mingo. The Cowboys really need Jonathan Mingo. Jalen Tolbert finds himself in a very strange situation again. Jalen Tolbert is the number 2 receiver again this year. What will he look like in this game with Dak Prescott? Because Jalen Tolbert needs to have a huge game. This game needs to be the type of game that Jalen Tolbert looks at this game and said, okay, I got my opportunity again. Thank you, God. I'm the number 2 wide receiver. He got to produce. Jalen Tolbert needs to create separation. Jalen Tolbert needs to make some big catches. Jalen Tolbert needs to be blocking. He needs to be running his routes hard. Jalen Tolbert needs to have a humongous game. Absolutely humongous. He needs to have a humongous game. I wish Mingo was ready because Mingo is a bigger receiver. Not having CeeDee Lamb made me realize something. You can't have enough firepower in this league. Y'all tell me, what do y'all think about this? If y'all had the opportunity to choose your 3rd wide receiver, are you choosing Jalen Tolbert? Lisa Worley, if you in here, cover your ears right now. If you got a choice in a 3rd wide receiver, Jalen Tolbert versus Luther Burden III, who are you taking? Jalen Tolbert or Luther Burden III? I'm realizing, and I already realized it before, but in this league now, with the way these defenses are starting to play, you need 2 number 1s like the Cowboys have. You need 2 number 1s. And your number 3 don't need to be a number 3. Your number 3 need to be a bona fide number 2. Because when you look at the Bears, they got Moore, Odunze, and Luther Burden III. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. That is crazy work. So with the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. Those are 2 number 1s. But is Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, Cavante Turpin, is any one of them a 2 disguised as a 3? From what we've seen so far, they're 3s. The Cowboys actually need 2 number 1s and a number 2. So when something like what happened this week happened, CeeDee Lamb goes down, and then we revert back to, because the gap between the number 1 and the number 3 is so large that you basically take us out of the game if you only have one of them on the field. If you want to win Super Bowls in this league, man, you need all the firepower you can get, and the Philadelphia Eagles have proven it. Man, you need firepower. You need firepower. The Cowboys are in a situation. If this doesn't tell them that they need to get another dynamic receiver, I don't know what else will. First name came to my mind yesterday was Amari Cooper. First name came to my mind. The Cowboys want CeeDee Lamb to come back early, play hurt, and let a high ankle sprain nag him the whole season. If you have got to get your star receiver to come back early and not let him get healthy, bro, you need to reevaluate your roster. You really need to reevaluate your roster. Because if you're telling me that we're banking on CeeDee Lamb coming back, because the Cowboys are basically telling us they're hoping he only misses one game and then he's going to be back the game after this Green Bay game. If he's truly got the ankle sprain that they're saying, man, 2 weeks not even. Let's stop all this stupid stuff with, yeah, man, he a superhero. He a mutant. What you mean he a mutant? Yeah, he heal fast. What? Yeah, you mean code name for, yeah, we're going to get him back early. Man, we got to stop this stuff. I would give CeeDee Lamb his rest that he needs. And if you don't feel like that Tolbert, Mingo, if you don't feel like Flournoy, Turpin, the guy we have on the bench from Oregon, if you don't feel like those dudes can truly step in and be a number two, bro, you are either about to call the games of your life, or maybe you need to think about going out there and getting Cooper. Because your number three needs to be a number two in this league. He really does. Gene Moore says, G, here is here is George Pickens' chance. He wants to be a big number one receiver and get big number one receiver money. Carry yourself like a leader for the next 45 days. Earn it or leave. Boy, Gene Morris, you just said something. Boy, what better way? Boy, the way God works sometimes. I don't believe he works in mysterious ways. Boy, God just works the way that he does, and sometimes we don't understand it, is what it is. Man, let me tell you something, Gene. If there was ever an opportunity for this man to prove to the league that he is worth the money of getting paid $25+ million a season, this is it. Because I can tell you now, Dak, who else is he going to? He's going to need George Pickens to get these other guys open. He is. He's going to need them, for sure. Hey, Jakira, Nisi said the same thing. Nisi said that she don't want him to do another interview this week. Get in the lab. Jakira said, after the day, no Cowboys coaches, owner, players, etc. need to be interviewed. Go to work. Yep. Eberflus was saying this defense was going to be violent during training camp. That all changes once the games count. Big Rumbowski. But I can remember something else he said too. He also said that, you need players to do certain things. That to me is feeding into his mindset. To me, Zimmer is saying the reason why this is happening is because we don't have the players to do what I want to do. That's what it seems like to me. Yeah, we don't have the players to do what I want to do, so we're going to lazily run zone defense, and that's it. Nah, he going to have to get better than that. Hallelujah said Zimmer turned it around midseason. We're still in the first quarter. Well, hallelujah. Let's think about what happened to Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer got DeMarion Overshown back. I think what the Cowboys are lacking on defense is speed. They're lacking speed. We don't have anybody, and this is where the Cowboys are not necessarily missing Michael Parsons in ways that people think. I don't think Michael Parsons changes the game the way that some people think he would have. And the reason why he doesn't change the game is because the offense, Ben Johnson is smart. He would have changed up his play calling if Michael Parsons was out there. One, he'd have probably lined up a tight end on that side. Two, he would have ran at him. Three, he would have ran through the middle of the Cowboys defense, because without Kenny Clark and Oso Odigizua together, Oso Odigizua and Mozzie Smith together was a liability. So he just would have changed up the game plan. But where Michael Parsons would have helped is speed. I don't think he gets 3 or 4 sacks against Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can run, but what he does do, he doesn't give him as much time to throw. He makes him run off his spot, and he also forces Ben Johnson to be more strategic in his play calling. That's where he makes the difference, not necessarily meaning they would have won the game still, but that's where he would have made the difference. The Cowboys are missing speed. They don't have anybody that's a speed threat. They don't have nobody that can chase down a running back hardly if he breaks. They don't have anybody that can if a wide receiver catches a 3 or 4 yard hitch. They don't have nobody that can truly get to that wide receiver and make those tackles. That's what they're missing. But again, I still wonder about the mentality of Matt Eberflus, and I just wonder if his demeanor is a little too laid back. I just wonder, because I don't think his energy matches Brian Schottenheimer's energy. I watched Brian Schottenheimer on the field, and one thing I'll say about Brian Schottenheimer on the sideline, shoot, man, this dude Brian Schottenheimer, he's active out there on the field. He's animated. He's saying stuff, and then, he's saying stuff, and he's trying to get the team fired up, but I don't think Matt Eberflus is that guy like that. Kevin Edwards said, call me crazy, but I always think Turpin potential could be as good as Lamb's. Being the real defensive scheme is not going to be successful under this defense coordinator. Kevin Edwards, I just don't think we know what to do with this dude. Now, I've been saying, I just don't think we know what to do with it. I just don't think we can. Carl says, gee, man, the way you're talking, you can't talk to the baby players like you are, my bro. Hey, I'm just telling this, man, Jimmy would have been a lot different, man. Jimmy would have been a lot different. But I don't want him to be Jimmy. I want Brian to be the Brian that he's been talking about. I want Brian Schottenheimer to be the guy he's been talking about when he says compete every day. Guys earning snaps. Because, man, I'm just telling us what we've been watching. Shoo. No, this dude need to. No. They got to make changes. And I hope we see it this week. But what bothers me is, you said the changes are going to be made. I love it. But then you bring up Donovan Wilson. Man, you lost me. I'm going to sleep. You losing me. I'm going to sleep if you're telling me Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker are going to be what's going to get us out of this rut when they're the reason why we're in this situation partially. Can't do it.
Skyler Dixon with DAP, you mentioned confidence earlier. Do you think Trayvon has a confidence problem, and how would you assess his first 3 weeks?
No, I don't think Trayvon has a confidence problem. I think Trayvon's a very confident guy. I think it's a humbling position, Skyler, to play cornerback in this league. What I'm excited about is the accountability that he took for, hey, look, it happens. You miss a quick jam and guy gets behind you, and when that happens, it's usually not a good thing for the defense. But he took accountability for it. He got banged up a little bit. Boom, went out for a few minutes. Boom, tested, came right back in, which is great. No, I don't think so. I think, if anything, I don't worry about Trayvon's confidence. I think our communication, from Trayvon across the board needs to be better. But I don't think Trayvon has a confidence.
I really wish Brian would explain this whole communication thing. Because it's strange to me that when you're watching film on this stuff, you clearly see them talking before the snap. What's the communication? I really would like for him to explain the conversation, the communication piece, because they seem to be saying that this is the major issue. I mean, call me crazy, but I've played football a little bit. You either know what you're doing and know what you're supposed to be doing on the field, or you don't. I don't understand the communication part. Is he saying they're supposed to be talking while the play is going on? Saying, hey, he's going into your zone. Hey, look out for this or that. I don't know what that means. I really would like for him to elaborate. I wish somebody was asking him to elaborate on that. I don't understand that piece. I mean, how much communication do you need? I'm missing it. Ron Hanna said, because I'm the coach and this is what my defense is looking like. Sorry, but I would have escorted him off the field after that flea flicker. Yes, sir. Yeah, Jakira said no more interviews for the rest of the year. This is the problem. This is why I said Brian, I think sometimes because he likes to be so transparent, he says all these right things. But the problem is, bro, the more you say, the more we're going to hold you accountable for. The more you talk, the more we're going to hold you accountable for. Yeah, you got me. You got me so far, Nisi. I'm too. Robert Thomas, he said, no more scheme talk. We have no more. He said, we have no scheme on any side of the ball. Boy. Let me see something. Ron Bowski said, Ben Johnson realized after that long drive in the third quarter that he could run the ball and didn't need to worry about running up the score. Ron Bowski. That third quarter was embarrassing. They basically used up the entire third quarter. Do y'all know they ran a 19-play drive on the Cowboys? Man, let me tell you something. Ben Johnson is a shrewd operator. And I like the way, I'm telling you, he is a shrewd operator, and I like the way he operates. This dude ran a 19-play drive on the Cowboys. Ben Johnson said the way you beat a dynamic offense is you keep them off the field and you keep their defense on the field and you absolutely bludgeon and torture them. Ben Johnson's a shrewd operator. Big Rambowski. This man was getting the big play anytime he wanted it. This man got in the third quarter and said, nope. We're gonna do him like the alligator do. We're gonna bite him. We're gonna take him out to the deep. We're gonna spin him around. And we're gonna torture and drown him before we eat him. I gotta give him credit. I love the way he did that to the Cowboys. I wish it was us doing teams like that. He whooped us with the explosive plays, but came back in the third quarter. And I mean, he bludgeoned us. Beat us silly. Crazy work to me. Crazy work. I'm telling you, man, this dude Ben Johnson can call plays. He can call plays. I got to give it to him. He can call plays. Juice Main said everybody played out of character yesterday. They simply were not prepared. They shouldn't have skipped that day of practice last week. That walkthrough got them ran through. Woo, boy, Juice Main. You in here rapping like Gucci Mane. Juice Mane, I'm telling you. Ain't it strange? Yeah, man. Brian is, they needed that rest. Okay. Travis, now remember what Michael Irvin said? Jimmy would make the practice hell so that the game would be heaven. Travis Beck said, honestly, G, I know it's hard to fire a coach and bring a new one in, but I'm over the Flus experience. Miss me with this. He himself as a coach. Hold on. He himself as a coach is trash and always was. He was bad for with us, he's worse. Oh, he was bad with the Bears, but with us, he's worse. Tough, boy. It's tough. And I'm just telling you, man, when Brian says that these two dudes are going to be the one that's going to make the change, that's crazy to me.
Issue.
Garrett.
Garrett Podell, CBS Sports. Brian, quarterback pressure can cover up for a lot of things on defense. You know, with Micah Parsons coming to town this week, how much do you...
Who's coming to town?
Micah Parsons. How much do you
Does he play for Green Bay?
What?
He plays for Green Bay?
He does, yeah.
Okay.
How much do you reflect on kind of that decision, which both you and Jerry Jones said was unanimous given the quarterback pressure and the explosive issues that you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, the defense it's all tied together. And are we getting enough pressure on the quarterback? No. I mean, when you look at it, we can be better. Come out of that game with no sacks is not good enough. Again, there's things that we can do, and there's, from a scheme standpoint, but certainly a coverage's best friend is the pass rush. And again, I think, there's been highs of where we've rushed it pretty well, and it's been good. And then there's been times where the pass rush hasn't been there. And so we're looking at that. One of the things we're doing is a little early self-scout, and saying, okay, what do we do well? And the things that we do well, you'll see us probably do more of, and the things that we don't do well, you'll see us do less of. But this is a team game, and certainly on defense, it takes all 11 to affect the quarterback, coverage and pass rush.
Do you feel like...
Can y'all tell me what do the Cowboys do well? What do the Cowboys do well defensively? What is he talking about? What do they do well defensively? I'm missing this part. What are we going to see them do more of that we haven't been paying attention to? What do they do well? Now, I do agree, and this is why I was saying with Micah Parsons, what they're missing is speed. Micah Parsons caused the quarterback to get the ball out of his hand maybe quicker. That's the result of the pressure. Maybe he got him to get the ball out of his hand quicker. Maybe he made him just look just ever so slightly to see what Micah Parsons was. Or he's running out and he knows that he's going to get chased down. It don't mean you're not getting beat. Because teams beat us last year with Micah Parsons. Even with him in the run that he went on when he got back healthy. You're still getting beat. But he's right, it absolutely helps in the back end. But again, Overshown's going to help with that. But the Cowboys have got to get to that point. Also, too, we'll see what happens when Jadeveon Clowney gets in. Maybe with Jadeveon Clowney playing, the Cowboys will actually be able to get a little bit of a pressure, get some more pressure. But also, this too. Let's think about this. Some players, I think older players, for example, I think an older player maybe does well with a rotation. But I think when you're talking about younger players, they need more snaps. I think they need to get warmed up in a game. I mean, that's what I think with younger players. They want to be on the field. They got to get warmed up, revved up. They thrive off of more and more snaps. And when you got these rotations going, you don't even give a player time to get warmed up. Man, you can't put me in one. I mean, if I'm an older player, it's different. But if I'm a younger player, man, you can't put me in put me in on one series, 5 snaps, and then come back 3 or 4 series later or the 4th series later, and now you want me to go in there and play another 5 snaps. An older player, I think that works. a younger player, I don't think that works as good. And when I think about edge rushers, I really do think they need more snaps. I think what the Cowboys have got to do when they're running this defense, man, find the dudes, find the edge combination that can literally give you 40 snaps together. And then you sprinkle in those other guys. You bring those, don't split it up 20, 20, and 20. No, bro, you find your best defensive end, your two best pass rushers that can do pass rushing and stopping the run. Maybe you let them run 35 snaps and kind of figure out sporadically where you fit other people in. But they have got to get. We're going to see what they do with Jadeveon Clowney. I think they should have let him play this week, but I can understand they really wanted to save him up for Green Bay. So we're going to see what he looks like against Green Bay. Cleveland got after him yesterday. That's how they beat Green Bay.
You've learned a lot about your defensive line and pass rush group in these first 3 weeks without Micah Parsons on the roster.
Yeah, I think you do. I think you saw a guy like Donovan Ezeraku. He's had 2 great games, not just one. Marshawn Nealon playing a very high level. Kenny Clark, I mean, can't tell you.
Nealon's done nothing since the first game.
Him. You know, again, it's not been good enough as a team, and that's what we are. We're a football team, and you know, it's the fleeting life of an NFL coach and player. You know, you're high last week when you find a way to beat the Giants, and then you lose to a good Bears team. I've been saying it all week. They're a good Bears team. They got good weapons, and you know, that's the life we live.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. George Pickens was seen slamming his helmet after the tipped interception. Is that something you talked with him about, or what are thoughts you have on that?
I have not. I will. Hey, look, our guys care. I mean, it's a big point in the game. You know, we're 31-14. We're driving. I would probably be disappointed if George didn't care that much. I think he does care. I know he does care. But I'll talk to him about it. Just, you know, hey, when that does happen, hey, how do we get you back quick? And but I know where it comes from. It comes from caring, and he knows, you know, he's going to make that play 99 times out of 100. And it'd be more concerned if he walked over and was just chuckling and laughing, like, oh, you know, hey, just it is what it is. That's not the way this team's wired, man.
In terms of potentially replacing CeeDee Lamb if he can't play, is it as simple as, hey, George, we need you to...
Wait a minute, Tim and Terry got me rolling. Hey, it's Overreaction Monday, guys. We all right. It's Overreaction Monday. But Tim and Terry said, just go ahead and take real talk. No CD, no Booker, no defense. It's over. Tim and Terry said, just throw the whole season. It's over. It's over. We're going to see. This next game is going to be a big game for the Cowboys. It's going to be a big game for the Cowboys. I really do think that Brian's got to pull a rabbit out of the hat on this one. Man, if they can make some changes, boy, this would be big for this team to win this game. It really would. Carolina Cowboy, what's going on? He said, gee, when the Cowboys are predicted to lose, they find a way to win. It's crazy. Carolina Cowboys. I think they're going to get up for this game. But this is where Brian is going to have to fix this team because, man, they seem to get up for these games. Like, I guarantee you, they'll play this team, and we'll be wondering, like, why didn't we see this team last week? Why didn't we see this team last week? But again, remember, Jadeveon Clowney is going to be on this defensive line. We'll see what he does. Ron Hanna said, if we don't have wholesale changes on defense, we won't make the playoffs with this team. There's not a team in the NFL that can score on every offensive drive. Man, let me tell you something. The teams that we're playing, if we don't make changes, some of these scores are going to get ridiculous on us. They're going to get ridiculous. And now with CeeDee Lamb being out, it's going to get ridiculous, man. We really got to get it going. We do. It's only the third game. I'm not panicking, but it's Overreaction Monday.
Now take CeeDee Lamb's kind of reps, or is it just a different adjustment there?
No,
Bobby D, what it do?
George has been a true number one. I think, you know, that's what we've been so blessed to have is 2 number ones and still do. How long, the CD thing lasts. We'll see. See how he feels tomorrow and things like that. But it won't be too much for George.
Now, again, the Cowboys, to me, I think they try to, and I can see this in Brian, I think they try to coddle their players too much. It's like they're really concerned about the feelings of all their players. And I'm just being honest with y'all. I mean, it's Overreaction Monday, but I'm just being honest with you. I really think the Cowboys ought to really consider maybe we go out there and get Amari Cooper. I really think they should consider it. They should let CD Lamb get healthy. Don't have CD Lamb playing on a bum ankle because it'll be a nagging injury the entire season. Don't let him come back early. No, don't let him come back early. Go get Amari Cooper. Keep Amari Cooper when he comes back. And let Amari Cooper be some part of that rotation. He's an older player. Amari Cooper won't mind playing 10. Man, I guarantee you Amari Cooper won't mind being with the Cowboys, playing getting 10 to 12 snaps, getting 5 to 6 targets, because we know if he plays like that, there'll be big targets. Man, I'm telling you, this dude, Amari Cooper, can still play this game. He just didn't want to play I don't think he wanted to play with the Raiders. If I was the Cowboys, I would seriously consider going and getting Amari Cooper and allowing this man to get healthy. I would. Chanel, welcome to the congregation. He said, gee, Shotty's play calling against the Bears reminded me of how McCarthy was calling plays. There is no fluidity in the way Shotty calls plays. Straight facts. Straight facts, Chanel. Welcome to the congregation. Straight facts. And now his play calling is going to be even more disrupted because, as the big Rombowski is saying, and I just showed you on the screen earlier, now you got Guyton out. I mean, not Guyton, you got Booker out. Terrence Steele and Guyton, they've already been struggling a little bit. Them doggone Bears showed them up. Whew. But again, I'm still riding with Shotty, but now he's going to understand what it means. He's going to understand what it means to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And he needs to understand what it means because that's the only way he's going to be able to really, if this team is going to the Super Bowl, and I still say they're getting there next year, no later than 2027, but I'm sticking with next year, he's got to see how it is to be the coach of this team. And I hope this week he stops babying them. Because it seems like to me he goes a long way towards trying to spare their feelings. I'm not sparing Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker's feelings. I'm not going to put them out there on Front Street per se, but I'm not going to be out here talking about, yeah, man, we're going to make some changes this week. And what gives me the confidence that we're going to be able to make those changes and turn it around is Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. Bro, you want to make a team stop listening to you? Keep saying stuff like that. Keep saying stuff like that, man. You'll turn this whole team off. You'll turn this whole team off. You can't have that kind of talk. You can't do it. You have got to be honest. Angie is saying it. Even Angie, she said, don't know, captain of the bench. He'd be the captain of the bench for me. You put him on the bench, you send a message to this team that no one is safe. No one is safe. Just because you became a captain, you can be uncaptained. But the Cowboys have put all of their eggs in the basket on Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker, and they want to roll with it. They got to stop doing that. No, don't roll with it. If he's not playing well, you're either saying it's the scheme and it's not his fault. You're saying it's a scheme and it's not his fault. It's our fault. Nah, bro. Now, yesterday with Malik Hooker, bro, that ain't coaching. That ain't a coaching problem. That wasn't a coaching problem. That's just stuff you ought to know if you're playing zone. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're just going to have to admit it. Uh-oh. Deezy said, what does Brian Schottenheimer have in that water bottle?
Cowboys.com. It seems like this first 3 weeks this year is kind of similar to last year in terms of you get a win, a close game, and then defense doesn't play the way you want it to. Last year you win 2 games after the first 3. What did you learn from that stretch? Maybe that'll help you try and replicate that this year.
Tom, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't really go back. This is a different team. Each game is its own game. We'll draw more on the first 3 games. We'll draw on Philadelphia and we'll draw on the Giants. I really do believe. I showed the guys the clips. Of us starting fast. We defer. And why do we defer? Well, I trust the defense. I do. I trust the defense. And what do? Well, James.
I get it. Brian Schottenheimer is trying to will his defense to do better. He's trying to will his defense to do better by showing them he has confidence in them, even though they are completely failing. I just think it's dangerous. These types of statements right here. I just think grown men and grown women, I think they deal better with honesty because I do. I just think you have to be honest with people. Make necessary changes, man. But to say that you trust the defense, man, people looking at you side-eyed, Brian. I know you're trying to galvanize your team. I get it. But oh my, man. Boy, this is tough. Boy, this is tough for me. How do you say this stuff? Man, it's Overreaction Monday. Y'all got to help me. Y'all got to help me. My man Darren Posey. Yeah, what? Darren Posey. Help me, bro. Explain it to me. Darren Posey, explain it to me. What is Brian Schottenheimer seeing that says he trusts his defense? I'm struggling with this. John Jones, hey, it's a new Jack City. John Jones. He said, what up, G Money? He said, whole coaching staff might be gone next year. John Jones, you can say it. It's Overreaction Monday. Whew. Richard Turner, I don't care what anyone says. I'm the same way. Can we please get Blue on the field? I don't care if this dude can't read plays. I don't care if he can't read plays. Miss me when he can't read plays. Can he run the ball? That's all I need to know. Can he run the ball? Whew. This man just said he trusts the defense. I'm struggling.
Houston first goes down and makes a tackle on the 15-yard line. Defense goes 3 and out. They punt the ball. Okay, we get the ball about midfield. We pound the first run for 7 yards. Then Javonte breaks for a explosive run for 25, 30 yards, and he's a little loose with the ball, and the guy comes and makes a hell of a play and pulls it out. But showed him that. Showed him some of the things that we did good and some of the things we didn't. And then the next thing you know, I show us tying the game up 14, 14 with a 2-point conversion. And why did we go for 2? Because we trusted our guys to go and get the 2 points. And that's this league. And our guys need to understand that's what we sign up for every week. And we didn't close out the first half very well. That's what we didn't do. And but we're right there. And then, same thing. We're 31-14 and we're driving and we have an interception, but that's going to put us.
Let this sink in. Boy, let this sink in. This man nonchalantly says it was 31-14. Boy, I can't, boy. I can't. I'm sorry. It's Overreaction Monday, guys. I'll be back Tuesday. But I can't today, bro. I can't do it on Overreaction Monday. How do you say with a straight face to your team watching film? Yeah, it was 31-14 and we had an interception. This goes to show you what they expect from Dak Prescott. Hey, Dak, by the way, it's 31-14. Hey, the game isn't over. We need you to go out there and play this game. We need you to go out there and play this game and bring us back 31-14 because when you make this game 31-21, we trust that our defense is going to stop them now for the next 3 drives. You're going to make it 31-21. You're going to make it 31-28. Then you're going to make it 31-31. And then we're going to get a miraculous field goal from Brandon Aubrey at the end and make it 34-31. I mean, just to say this with a straight face is crazy work to me, man. This is crazy. I'm sorry, man. You gotta laugh to stop from crying. Boy, this is crazy work. I mean, Bryce shot down and sitting there talking confidently like 31-14 didn't mean nothing, bro. Bro, it was 31-14 in the fourth quarter. This is crazy wicked work to me, man. Boy, this is crazy work, boy. Boy, this is crazy work. Hallelujah. He said, hey, man, he don't need to be mentioning anybody on defense. Boy, facts, bro. Absolute facts in this thing, man. Woo. Boy, Brian is killing me in this interview today, man. Mason Baller said, bro, is naming every player that has been punched for 3 weeks straight. Boy, this dude, man, I can't help. I gotta laugh, man, because this is crazy, boy. This is crazy to me. Say, James Bowie. Boy, James Bowie, man, I'm telling you, James Bowie, this is crazy. Let me pull up this comment from James Bowie. Boy, this is crazy. This is absolute crazy what this man is saying, boy. James Bowie, I'm sorry, I missed I was trying to get a comment up here. Boy, this is crazy. Woo! Man, you just gotta laugh at this, man. Yeah, man, Javonte Williams broke, big run. And he was carrying the ball kind of haphazardly. We just go glaze over that. Yeah, man, he was holding the ball and the dude just made a heck of a play. Man, let me tell you something. Any good football coach gonna tell you. You have to finish the play. You have to finish the play. I don't care if you run for 90 yards. If somebody run you down and knock the ball out of your hand, I'm not calling that a good play. I'm just not calling it a good play. I'm going to tell you straight up to your face. You got to finish. A play isn't a good play unless you finish it. You didn't make a good play if you don't finish it. I'm not telling you it's a good play. I'm telling you, bro, you got to finish it. You got to finish it. That play changed the game. Carolina Cowboy, you just said a mouthful. Gee, This prioritizing players has gone on forever. I thought we were done. Now, people were saying I was crazy when I was saying what they did with Joe Milton. They didn't even let this dude compete. They gave him the job because the Cowboys gave up a draft pick for him. They gave him the job. And now, here we are. Here we are. And we're just saying stuff. I mean, boy, you're going to turn the team around with the two players that have basically turned the season around too. Yeah, they didn't want to help turn it around. This is crazy. Can't help. I got to laugh. That's all I can do. I just got to laugh.
And then you're right back to where you were with a whole quarter to play of football, and it's a 10-point game if you can finish that drive. So the difference in winning.
Boy, if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. Freddie, I've already told you. Freddie, my man, what's going on? Freddie, I'm not putting him in the block. I know how to fix that. I'm not putting him in the block. If I put Jaden Blue in, he's running the ball for me. Now, I don't need him to block. I need him to go out there and run that rock. That's all I need him to do. I'll work on the other stuff. Hey, when you go in, you running the rock. In practice, we'll work on the other stuff. So then maybe we can put you in and people think you're going to run the ball, and then we can start using you as a decoy to block. Shoot. I'm putting this dude in to run the rock. He got to run the rock for me. I don't care nothing about no blocking, man. I'm sorry. Got nothing about no blocking. I want this man to run the rock. Sunny Days, he said, Shotty said the confidence comes from Dodo and Hooker, and Jerry said we're still a playoff team. He said delusions and gaslighting everywhere. Now, Sunny Days, man, come on, though. I'm going to give Jerry a break, Sunny Days. Man, they put Jerry in a tight situation, man. I'm not going to tell nobody my team is not a playoff team because we lost game 3. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to say we still a playoff team. I can understand Jerry better than I can understand Brian Schottenheimer saying stuff like Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker gonna be a part of the change and change the season around, and then had to serve to say, yeah, we trust our defense. Boy, I gotta laugh. That's all I can do. I just gotta laugh. Chanel said the Bears scored 21 points against the Lions, only getting 7 points in the first, second, and fourth quarter. Our defense is the worst rated defense in the league. Straight up. All right, we gonna hear the rest of Brian Schottenheimer before I get off here, because we doing Cowboys After Dark. We got a whole lot more to cover about this team.
Losing this league is so finite that, hey, this isn't going to be the only adversity we face all year, man. I mean, it's what we sign up for, and it takes tough SOBs to play and coach this business.
Last night after the game, you had talked about maybe we need to simplify some things defensively. Is that still on the table after meeting today?
Of course.
Guys, can I ask y'all a question? This would be a good question for Nisi. The rest of y'all chime in. I'll read it when I get towards the bottom. Poobie D, chime in on this. All y'all chime in. Chanel, all y'all, chime in on this. Seabase, Newhouse, all y'all. Chanel, y'all chime in on this. Robert Davis, I'm reading people out of the chat. Ryan R., y'all chime in on this. Kevin Edwards, chime in. Are our defensive players done? Are our defensive players done? Either our players are done, the schemes are too difficult, or maybe having 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years is wearing on us. Do y'all know we were saying the same thing last year? Simplifying things. We're saying the same thing again. We're talking, simplifying things. Why do we have to keep simplifying things? Can somebody help me out with that? Big Rambowski, help me out. Can you get any simpler than cover two? Chanel, help me out. Can you get any simpler than cover two? Cover two, cover four, can you get any simpler? Can you get any simpler? Y'all help me out. Can you get any simpler than zone defense? Can you get any simpler? Somebody tell me how you're going to simplify that. How do you simplify it? Maybe I'm missing something. How do you simplify that? Here we go again. Simplify. Michael Parsons said last year on Thanksgiving, and my whole mind was blown. Yeah, man, we finally got the defense. Thanksgiving? What? Boy, it's Overreaction Monday. We can say what we want to say. We're going to be back to our regular scheduled program tomorrow. But I'm telling you, we got to simplify again. We're running 100% zone, 90% zone. Maybe this is why Eberflus is doing this. Maybe he's just telling them, hey, maybe he's behind closed doors telling them, hey, guys, I want to do some things different, but our defense can't do it. I've been trying to get them to do this, and they can't do it. I don't know. Y'all tell me.
Anytime as a coach, your job is to look at the film because there's emotions that come into the game, Calvin. Like you get emotional and, man, we had our chances and you're pissed off and, you see the hurt in the guy's eyes or the jubilation when you win. And so you miss things. So it's not really until the next morning or that night, like we did last night. We watched the film last night on the plane and, you kind of really, you feel out, you realize, say, okay, where are we at? And so I do think that as a coach, you look for solutions. And if we're not doing certain things well, then by simply deleting some things, that makes you simplify. Doesn't mean that we're going to go in with one front and one coverage. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to still be multiple, but.
I'm struggling. Y'all got to explain some stuff to me. I'm just not smart enough for this stuff. I'm just realizing I'm not smart enough for this stuff. The multiple talk. The multiple talk. Bro, you running zone 90% of the time. Okay, you ran maybe an extra 3 or 4 plays of man this week. Where is the multiple talk coming in at? Man, this team, they gonna have to start showing us. Y'all ain't running. Man, this defense ain't running multiple. I'm sorry if this defense ain't running multiple nothing, man. Brian, come on. Yeah, Brian need another year, man. Brian need another. He needs an entire year to kind of get used to this thing being the Cowboys coach. The Queen, you know what? If they put in Joe Milton, they might as well leave him in. They put in Joe Milton, they might as well leave him in. There will be people that'll lose their minds if Joe Milton come in here and let's say they play in 3 or 4 games. Shoot, this dude come in there and do even half decent. they'll be ready to run Dak out of town. Big Rambowski, I'm with you. He never calls big plays with Turpin on the field. That's all. I would be putting teams on notice. No, I'm running big plays with this man is. When this man in, I'm running big plays, man. I'm not putting this dude in to be a third wide receiver. Man, I'm not putting that man in for that. Lisa Worley, you talking about Javonte Williams, right? She said that mistake took our momentum. That fumble took our momentum. And whose idea was it to run Lamb out of the backfield? Dumb. Brian Schottenheimer got too cute. Angie, say it, Angie. Politics is this team's Achilles heel. Say it. I love the Dallas Cowboys, but boy, we gotta start telling the truth. And we've been telling the truth. We gotta keep telling the truth on that part. The Cowboys sign somebody and they just say, we signed them, they gotta play. We signed them, they got to play. But I am telling you, if there is a season that is the epitome of what Dak Prescott has been going through on this team, if somebody don't feel sorry for Dak Prescott right now, you never will. They have literally, as my sons say, they have literally sold this man. They sold this man. Hey, Cowboy fans, they sold this man. I mean, when you the tipped interception by George Pickens was crazy to me yesterday. I don't know if I've ever seen anything. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, man. I mean, the way they tipped up. You want to talk about just, I don't even know what to call it. It was like a volleyball play when you set up a volleyball player to spike it. I mean, he just like with his fingers just, boy, Dak can't win. Gene Moore said Jesse Holly made a good observation yesterday. Said many players on defense are wearing play cards on their wrist. Shouldn't be happening at week 3. Gene, what you wearing wristbands for zone? For zone? I'm struggling. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. Are we dumb? I'm not going to believe that these players are dumb. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe this team is dumb. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe these players are dumb. They've been playing football all their doggone life. They know what zone is. What's going on? What is really going on? I'm missing it. CW said, that is a joke, G. Jalen Tolbert does not believe he's a number 2. But that will not happen at this point. Had 3 seasons to prove it. Luther Burden III. Oh, that's the question I asked y'all about Luther. Yeah, man, that boy Luther. Whew. That boy Luther looked crazy yesterday. He looked crazy. And did I not tell y'all this when we were talking about Luther Burden III, when I wanted Luther Burden III so bad? I want the Cowboys to get Luther Burden III. What did I tell y'all about Luther Burden III after we watched the tape? Luther Burden III, I don't care what they tell me, talking about this man run a 4.5 40. He might run a 4.5 40. I mean a 4.5 40. He don't play like a 4.5 40. Luther Burden III plays fast. When you watch him in and out of routes, when you watch him with yards after the catch, man, Luther Burden III has to be one of the most deceptive wide receivers I've ever seen in my life. The dude runs a 4.5 and he plays with a 4.3, it looks like. Nisa said, hey, Danny, we're all upset and G is quoting New Jack City. He's Nino Brown tonight. Go. Angie said, I'll never choose Tolbert. What? Tell you. And that's not a knock on Tolbert. Tolbert is a number 3. He should be a great number 3. can be a great number 3. But I'm realizing something in this league. You don't need a number 3. You need 2 number 1s and a 2. You really do. You need 2 number 1s and a 2. And if you don't have 2 number 1s and a 2, then you need 2 number 1s, a 3, and you need to have a running game that's a power run game that can also pop the big runs. And I'm not talking about just getting 30. I'm talking about getting runs to where you take it to the crib. I'm talking that when you break out, nobody's catching you. Nobody's catching you. We need that in the backfield. Javonte Williams is not that. This is why I want to see what Jaden Blue is. Because if Jaden Blue is not that, the Cowboys need to be kind of looking around to see, okay, is there a running back that we can to get that stat, or we're just going to wait until next year and go get a running back out of the draft? So if they're telling me that, then they're telling me, all right, then that means that we're kind of in a rebuild. That we're in a soft rebuild, and 2026 is when we're going for it. All right, we only got about 2 more minutes to shot it, but he got me rolling over here.
Absolutely. We'd be crazy if we didn't look to simplify and focus on execution. Execution is what wins in this league. And there's times where we've executed very well on defense, just like the 2 overtime drives against the Giants. You know, I mean, you forget 7 to 8 days ago, you know, they stepped up and made those plays. How do we know they wouldn't have made it if we could have tightened the game a little bit on offense, you know, by scoring a touchdown? So, but yeah, everything's on the table.
Brian, if they were performing, you wouldn't be down 31-14. Come on, Brian. Brian, come on. Come on, Brian. Brian, come on, bro. Brian. Brian, come on, bro. Come on, Brian.
Takeaways from your group. This was a defense that led the league in takeaways for a couple of years, and now we're not seeing them as much as it's very early. But
no, you're right. No, again, I talked to the guys about that today. I mean, we're 32nd in the league in giveaway takeaway ratio, -5. It sucks. I don't know if I can say sucks, but I just did. It really sucks.
Brian said that we were going to be one of the top teams in the league in takeaways. It's only game 3. But I'm going to tell you this. They got work to do if they're going to be one of the top teams in takeaways. They're 3 games behind. 3 games.
But they come in bunches. I believe that. We got guys punching at the ball. You know, what helps with that is when you do disrupt or affect the passer, errant throws happen. You know, so the more, that's why I'm saying it all ties together. You know, Dak's first interception, you know, GP obviously is going to catch that. The 4th down play, he just had a little bit of pressure in his face, couldn't really finish the throw. Javonte talked about that. And then, you know, Joe went in and did some great things. And, you know, just needs to know that, you know, we still had time. And
this dude, Brian Schottenheimer, this dude next level, y'all. This dude is next level. Who in their right mind eats rock candy during an interview? boy, this dude, Brian Schottenheimer is savage, man. Man, this dude is savage. This dude is basically got an attitude like, man, bro, this dude basically saying, man, I ain't worried. He said, I ain't worried. Man, this dude in the interview like he ain't got to carry the world. This dude. Boy, this dude is savage.
Opportunities, and so he can't make that throw to Turk. Probably just check that one down. And, but yeah, to be -5, I can promise you this: we will not end the season at that.
What kind of difference can Clowney make?
He gonna make a difference.
You know, I'm not going to put too much on Jadeveon. He's obviously a player that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and I think he's going to impact people.
Clowney gonna make a
lot
difference.
of different ways. I think the talent is real, Todd. I think
Yeah.
his knowledge of the game is what's grown probably the most in my time since we've been together. But I think he's going to affect the line of scrimmage. Both running.
Yeah,
pass,
Clowney gonna make a difference.
But I also think he's invaluable for some of our young guys like Donovan Ezaraku and
Yeah.
Mozzie, and he was the one guy that I heard yesterday in the locker room after the game say, "Hey, don't blink, boys. We're 3 games into this thing."
Yeah.
And, that's a man that's been around. He's been around a long time, and he gets it.
Clowney gonna make a difference.
At the end of the half, can you walk us through what you were thinking with the timeouts? You used the one with 1:24, and then you waited again, not till 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, basically, I wanted to kind of put the pressure on them to decide what they wanted to do. It looked like to me that, if they were going to run the football, I think the first run went for 7 or 8, so I didn't do anything. And then we had one where we kind of stopped them for a 2 or 3 yard gain, so I called timeout. And, you want to put the onus on them a little bit, and maybe, see if Caleb would make a mistake and see if we could get a chance to get some more time, and then hit the big play, the deep cross coming from left to right, and then of course you call the timeout because you want the ball back. And so it's just gamesmanship about trying to put the onus on them to make the decision, and they made the plays they had to make.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
That man Brian Schottenheimer is savage. Man, Brian Schottenheimer put a rock piece of candy in his mouth. He put a rock piece of candy in his mouth during an interview, man. This man is savage, boy. He ain't worried. He's not worried. I'm not worried either. But it is Overreaction Monday. We're gonna have Overreaction Monday every single Monday. But I like some of the things that Brian said. The Cowboys are going to make some changes. But now we got to see those changes. But the part that sticks out to me, it's the fact that he mentioned the way they're going to turn it around is with Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker. Bro, you want to lose you want to lose confidence. That's crazy to me. Big Ron Bowski said, I'm not letting Dak off the hook. He wanted that big contract and now he's got it. So it's time to put out results with the wide receiver group available. There is still talent there. Well, Big Ron Bowski, I think Dak's going to do that. But we also got to be honest with ourselves. We're putting ourselves in a very volatile situation from this perspective. This means that you're going to have to continue to throw tight window throws. You're going to have to throw tight window throws a lot because the separation apart from Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is just not there. They'll all have to be tight window throws. Absolutely tight window throws. They'll have to be. And again, I think Dak did what he was supposed to do yesterday. I think what happened with Dak Prescott is, and let's talk about this before we get out of here. Let's go to the what happened section. What happened yesterday? What happened? So I want us to go back to the keys of the game that I talked about yesterday. I want us to go back to the keys of the game. And then we're going to get out of here after this. But I want to go back to the keys of the game, and I want y'all to look at the keys of the game. And y'all tell me, did the Cowboys do this? And let me pull up, let's pull this up too. We got a lot more we're going to look at tonight on Cowboys After Dark. We're going to get into a lot more of the stats and things of that nature. But I want us to look at what happened yesterday. All right. What happened yesterday? So these are the things that I said the Cowboys need to do. Bears versus Cowboys. Week 3. I said that the Cowboys needed to establish the run. The Cowboys needed to run the ball 25 times. I said that, right? Let's go check the tape. Yesterday, the Cowboys ran the ball 20 times. They ran the ball 20 times for 121 yards. Now, you know what messed this whole scheme up? What messed this scheme up is that if you tell me you're going to run for 121 yards on 20 carries, I'm going to tell you that's good. But the problem is simple. But if you're going to have a fumble and you run the ball 20 times for 121 carries, that fumble takes away from those 20 carries, because that fumble, you can basically say it took points off the board. We took points off the board. That killed the 20 rushes. Next thing that I said, what else happened? I said the Cowboys need to start off faster offensively and defensively. Well, Cowboys got a 3 and out, but then they came back, they get the drive, and what do? They fumbled the ball. So they defeated themselves on starting out fast, because then they settled for field goals when they needed touchdowns, and they could have really put this team behind the 8 ball. They didn't do it. So once again, they didn't start off fast. They shot themselves in the foot. Second thing I said, Cowboys needed to get Pickens involved early. Cowboys need to get George Pickens involved early. Let's look at the box score. George Pickens had 5 catches for 68 yards. You're not winning like that. The Cowboys have got to figure out a way to get George Pickens in triple digits. George Pickens is not impacting the game enough. He's not. They have got to figure out a way to get George Pickens to really put teams on their heels. They're not doing it. This ain't enough. They need to put George Pickens in triple digits. How do you get this man 100 yards, 2 touchdowns? How do you do it? How do you really make George Pickens into an absolute weapon? Where are the contested catches? Where are the contested where are the, hey, George, run straight down the field. We're throwing it up, bro. Go get it. We haven't built that trust yet. We don't have this man making big plays. This dude, George Pickens, let's just be honest. Man, he only making average plays. George is only making average plays. George isn't making the kind of plays that have defenses afraid. We're allowing defenses to lock down George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Somebody explain to me how are they doing this? They're locking them down to the point of they're not letting them get behind them in no form or fashion. Now, somebody's got to explain to me how they're doing it and we can't do it because we let every receiver behind us. But no one else, with the talented wide receivers that we have, we're not even putting pressure on defenses to where we're getting behind them. I don't understand it. Now, George Pickens will have 100-plus yards this game because we don't have CeeDee Lamb. No, we got to figure out a way to get this man 100 yards with CeeDee Lamb. With CeeDee Lamb. Poobie D, you asked the question. Why did we stop running Williams? Well, when you get down 31-14, there's nothing you can do. Now, I do get the other thing about the red zone. You said we was at the 2. But in the grand scheme of things, they basically made They made him ineffective by the way they got up in the game. Let's look at this next part. Hoffman needed help. The Cowboys didn't get him help. Hoffman didn't have his best game yesterday. And the Cowboys didn't get him the help that he needed. Next thing I said, long drives and time of possession. The Cowboys, yesterday, let's look at their time of possession. Time of possession by the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see what we got here. I don't even understand how the Cowboys won time of possession. Cowboys won time of possession 32 minutes and 58 seconds. Now, I said the Cowboys need to have about 40 minutes of time of possession. Some of this is kind of like fool's gold because you think about the long drive they had in the beginning and then they fumbled it. Well, you just threw that time of possession out in the trash because if you're going to have that type of possession, then you got to score. You got to finish that. You can't take 4 and 5 minutes off the clock and then you don't score. Well, you just threw that in the trash and you just really affected yourself because you just wasted 5 minutes of no scoring. The Cowboys were 3 of 11 on third down. Tell me that isn't crazy. The time of possession for the Cowboys was fool's gold. You got on another drive, and George Pickens tips the ball to the defender. There's another wasted drive, another wasted few minutes. And so the time of possession you got on those drives, they went against you. What else did I say the keys for the Cowboys to win the game? What did I say? No turnovers. How many turnovers did we have? We had 2 turnovers when it counted. That one with Javonte Williams. Yes, you should be able to recover from it. But when you're on the road and your defense can't stop nobody, that was a back-breaking turnover. I'm not tripping so much on the one from the one that George Pickens tipped the ball. I mean, you're still talking about you were down 31-14, and Brian Schottenheimer just laid that out there like it was 31-28 or something. But the Cowboys failed on that also. They had 3 turnovers. What did I say? Knock them out early. What did the Cowboys do? They allowed the Bears to stay in the game. They allowed them to stay in the game. Do y'all realize on what I said were the keys to the game? The Cowboys failed on every last one of them. They failed. Didn't run the ball 25 times. And I said also, the ideal game for Dak Prescott was how many throws? 23-27. We failed. Dak Prescott, look at this crazy stat. This is insane. Dak Prescott, this is a recipe for disaster. Dak Prescott threw the ball 31 times. He was 31 of 40. He was deadly accurate, but the problem was simple. Every throw that Dak Prescott was making was in front of the defense. He didn't stretch the field. It wasn't his fault. The Chicago Bears just played better defense. And they made a decision the Cowboys were not going to get behind them. Even when Joe Milton III came in, what did he do? Interception. The moment he went down the field for the big throw, interception. The Chicago Bears played the Cowboys well, and we got to give them credit for it. Have to give them credit for it. The Cowboys absolutely failed. I talked about the keys to the game for the Bears. I talked about the keys to the game for the Bears. For the defense. I'm sorry, for the defense to beat the Bears. The defense got a 3-and-out in the beginning, but after that, it was a slaughter. What did I say? Spy Caleb Williams. Did they do it? No. They didn't do it. I said get some turnovers. Did they get some turnovers? No, they didn't do it. I said manufacture pressure. Did they do it? They didn't do it. No. I said blitz throughout the game. Did they do it? No. And I don't understand the philosophy of, well, I don't want to blitz because I'm going to put the defense at risk. Bro, they're already at risk. We're not even doing all our blitz, and they're burning us like we're throwing out, they're burning us. They're beating us like we're running all out blitz. They're burning us like we're running all out blitzes, bro. Well, if I'm gonna go down, then I'm going down swinging. I'm throwing 6 and 7 out there. I don't give a doggone. I don't care if you tell me somebody running free. They're already running free. No, I'm getting some hits on that quarterback. Do y'all know it was the first time in Caleb Williams' career in the NFL? Not that he's had a long career. It was the first time since he's been playing in the NFL he wasn't sacked one time. Let that sink in. I also said Cowboys adjust early. They didn't adjust early. They didn't adjust mid-game, and they didn't adjust late. It is no wonder the Cowboys got beat. It's no wonder. I don't care how much better you are than a team. These were the keys. These were simple keys to victory. Anybody should have been able to say these are the keys to victory. Cowboys didn't do none of it. Absolutely none of it. None. This was my thoughts. What did I say? Ben Johnson would be creative. They did it. The Bears will attack Hoffman. Did they do it? They did it. Caleb Williams may be dangerous running. Caleb Williams didn't have to run. He did a little bit of running, but he was actually more dangerous in the pocket. He only had 5 rushes for 12 yards. Ben Johnson will try to run up the score. I'll give Ben Johnson credit. Once Ben Johnson got up 31 points, Ben Johnson let his foot off the gas. But they were already up 31-14. You could almost say they did run up the score. I said Clowney will be immediately effective. They didn't play him. I said Eberflus would go in his bag. Shotty wants this game. The Cowboys didn't seem like they wanted this game. Big day for Dak Prescott. It was a big day for Dak Prescott when you think about 31 completions, but it was actually a bad day for Dak Prescott because he had to drop back and throw the ball 40 times. And when you tell me that Dak Prescott threw 31 times and he only had 251 yards, that is telling me that their defense did a bang-up job. Let me tell y'all something crazy. Y'all ready for some craziness? So the Chicago Bears defensive coordinator goes by the name of Dennis Allen. You want to know something crazy? I didn't know this until they started talking about it. Y'all do know we've seen Dennis Allen before, right? It dawned on me. I said, where did we see Dennis Allen before? Y'all do know that Dennis Allen is actually the ex-coach, ex-defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Look at how they beat us last year. Dennis Allen was with the Saints last year. You want to see something insane? You want to see something eerie and insane? Look at Dak Prescott's numbers. Look at Dak Prescott's numbers. High completion rate, 27 of 39. But look at the yards. 293 yards. Look at the touchdowns. 1 touchdown. Look at the interceptions. Is this not scary? CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 90, 1 touchdown. Jalen Tolbert, 6 for 82. Schoonmaker was 6 for 43. Tell me this isn't eerie. Dak Prescott, 31 of 40, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Isn't it strange how this game is eerily the same? This tells me that Brian Schottenheimer, with more weapons than Mike McCarthy, he didn't look any better than Mike McCarthy in this game. He didn't call this game too much different than Mike McCarthy. Look at this. This is eerily scary. CeeDee Lamb. Where's CeeDee Lamb on this thing? This game is eerily scary when you look at the number they did on the Dallas Cowboys. This dude had the Cowboys number. Because when you think about Javonte Williams again, 10 for 76, the fumble almost wipes all of that out. George Pickens, 5 for 68. They'll take Jake Ferguson, 13 for 82 yards all day long. If you tell me that Jake Ferguson went 13 or 82, I'm going to tell you got beat. CeeDee Lamb didn't even register on here. But if you look at this game, eerily similar. He held the Cowboys to 14 this time. Held them to 19 points. Isn't this crazy? Look at how many points the Cowboys had on him. They had what was this? The Cowboys in the first half, 16 points. 16 points against the Saints. The Cowboys in the first half this time, 14 points. This is crazy. But he played the same game plan. The same game plan that he played against the Dallas Cowboys last year. The game plan was simple. Keep everything in front of you. Keep everything in front of you. You keep everything in front of you. You make Dak Prescott throw it short. And you beat him. You want to see something else that's eerily insane? Let me show y'all why I know that Michael Parsons, contrary to what some of y'all are thinking, let me show you how I know Michael Parsons would not have made a difference in this game. He would not have made a difference the way y'all think. Some of y'all think that this dude would have changed the trajectory of this season, that we would have been winning some of these games. No, you're still getting beat because Michael Parsons played this game. He played this game. The score was 44-19. There was nothing Michael Parsons could do. I posted this on X today. You choose how you get blew out. You ready? Choose how you get burned out. How you get blew out. Michael Parsons without Kenny Clark, you still get blew out. You still get blew out because you can't stop the run. And if you can't stop the run, you know what the Saints did to us? Let me show you. The New Orleans Saints ran for 190 yards, 242 yards passing, 7.7 yards per play. They beat the brakes off of us because we couldn't stop the run. Michael Parsons is not making the difference he would not have made the difference that you would have thought. You know how I know? Because our defense looks pretty similar to what it looked last year. It looks pretty doggone similar. Somebody got to bring somebody back to reality. Damone Clark is out there. Trayvon Diggs is out there. Demarion Overshown is out there. Kalen Carson, Eric Kendricks, Donovan Wilson, Chauncey Golston. And here is Michael Parsons. 2 solo tackles and 1 assisted and absolute 0 sacks. Choose how you get blew out. Choose it. Choose how you get blew out. You get blew out with Michael, you get blew out without Michael. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Some of us are in la la land. We want to bring every problem back to Michael Parsons. No. I'm going to show us pure facts. It is not a Michael Parsons issue. He would not have made the difference. He just would have, all we would have been saying is the same thing we're saying about Dak. Well, we're not going to blame Michael Parsons. At least he was chasing the quarterback. He didn't get 1 sack on him last year. He didn't get 1 sack on the Saints last year. It would have been the same thing. I'm telling you, it would have been the same thing. The game from last year. We had Derek Carr looking like he was, it's amazing to me. 1 year removed from this game, Derek Carr retires. We had Derek Carr up in this thing looking like an MVP, and he was going to the Super Bowl. Last year, Derek Carr on the Dallas Cowboys defense, Derek Carr only threw the ball 16 times, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a partridge in a pear tree. Choose how you get blew out. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tell me where Michael Parsons helped us. Tell me. Tell me where he helped us against the Saints. This same defensive coordinator. Tell me where he helped us. Only thing we would have done with Michael Parsons is choose how we would have got blown out. If you can't stop the run in this league, you're getting blown out. And if you can't get pressure on the quarterback and sack him, get him off his mark and make him make mistakes, the result of the pressure, you're not winning in this league. Last year, we were 3rd in quarterback pressure. But I can guarantee you in the result of the pressure, the stat that I'm making up, in the result of the pressure, we were still getting the doors blew off of us. But we got to stop this Michael Parsons narrative. I can tell what the media is doing. The media keeps asking questions like they want to lean towards, y'all got rid of Michael Parsons. That's why you got blew out. We were getting blew out with Michael Parsons. Stop this nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Period. The Cowboys are on the right track. If there is one thing you want to solidify is the middle of your defense. The Cowboys are doing well at the defensive tackle position. Now, understand this. You might think yesterday the Cowboys didn't do well in the run. But you need to understand something. When your defense, when your edges, when your defensive ends can't beat the offensive tackles, well, now we get to dedicate another one of those blockers to the inside of your defensive pass rush. See, now we can dedicate another guy. So we're going one-on-one. And don't sneeze on Montez Sweat. That dude can rush the passer. Tyler Guyton was not enough for Montez. I don't care which side you line him up on. Terrence Steele nor Guyton. I don't think they can deal with Montez Sweat. He was a problem. So if you got to dedicate 2 guys to Montez Sweat, now you got 3-on-3. Now you got 3-on-3. You got another problem. You got Brock Hoffman in there. You got to choose. The Cowboys had to choose. Okay, Where are we going to let Dak Prescott get sacked? Are we going to let it be Montez Sweat, or will we let the guy, the defensive tackle in the middle? Which one is it going to be? And then the Chicago Bears were even smarter. The Chicago Bears were also running their own types of blitzes. We got outmatched, guys. Brian Schottenheimer got outmatched. He did. He got outmatched. Tell me what you want to. Got outmatched. Yeah. Chanel. Ben Johnson school shouting and Eberflus. And to show you the madness he did, he did not even have a top 10 quarterback. With Dak, Ben Johnson would be unstoppable. I said it earlier, Chanel. I said it earlier. This league would have to, they'd have to change all the rules. This league would have to change all the rules, Chanel, if you gave Ben Johnson, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Kevontae Turpin, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams, Tyler Booker, Cooper BB, and we had Brock, even with Brock Hoffman, Tyler Smith. This league wouldn't be able to stop Ben Johnson. This league wouldn't be able to stop Ben Johnson. I promise you, this league wouldn't be able to stop this man. I'm telling us. I'm telling us, and this is why I say I've been laughing at these people. They keep trying to bark up this tree about quarterback pressure because they keep trying to allude to the fact that it's because of Michael Parsons. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We played the New Orleans Saints last year with Michael Parsons. We couldn't stop the run. They blew the doors off of us. And this same the same defensive coordinator. This is the part that I underestimated. I underestimated this part. I didn't realize that this doggone defense coordinator had played against Dak Prescott before and been successful. I didn't even think about it. Had already played against him and been successful. Straight up. I'm just telling y'all the truth. We just got to admit it for what it is. Bro, Dennis Allen did a number on us. Dennis Allen did a number on us. Straight up. Dennis Allen and Ben Johnson did a number on the Cowboys. That's what happened. We can call it anything we want to. Yes, the defense is trash. And I don't like to use that word, but we are trash right now. And it's a combination of the scheme. It's a combination of the personnel. We can't keep complaining about we don't have the players. You don't get to do that in this league. In actuality, you have to do what you have until something else happens. But we got outmatched. And Brian Schottenheimer, and I'm glad he owned it. But I'm telling you, you got to get to a point that owning it ain't good enough. You commit a crime and you admit you committed the crime. Guess what? You still going your butt to jail. When I was a child and I admitted that I did something wrong, you think that don't mean I didn't get a butt whooping? Yeah, you still getting a butt whooping. It's not the mistake that you make, it's what you do after the mistake. The Cowboys have got to make some changes. Let me read their comments now that y'all heard what I said. I'm telling you. Damon, my man Bama Boy, he said, defense dumb and done, both G. Yeah. Kevin Edwards, he said, our defense isn't dumb, it's the scheme. I'm just wondering, because when I start hearing simplify, what? Come on, man, you're running zone. Chanel said Tampa 2, cover 3 is a simple defensive scheme. Try running Steve Wilkes and Robert Saleh's defensive scheme for the 49ers. Bro, this is... This is where I think the scheme is he won't make adjustments within the scheme. He's got to build some blitzes into the scheme. He has to build some type of Man, you gotta, bro, if you don't have Michael Parsons, start playing like you don't have Michael Parsons. Play like you got Kenny Clark. Play like it. You have to play like it, bro. You have got to send some kind of you have got to manufacture pressure. Okay, we can't get there with 4. We getting there with 6. We getting there with 6 and we going man to man. I'll make it that simple for you. I'm not going to, I'll tell you this. I would rather be the worst defense in the league, blitzing and trying to get to the quarterback, than being stubborn, rushing 4 and dropping 7 and not getting to the quarterback. Not me. They're going to tell you why I'm getting beat. Yeah, let me tell you why G's defense is getting beat. Why? Because he's sending 6 and 7 people blitzing the quarterback. I bet you they're not going to tell you, yeah, man, he rushed 4 and dropped 7, and he's still getting blew out. I bet you they won't tell you that about me. I bet you they wouldn't tell you that about me. But again, this team, people keep trying to lean towards this whole thing about quarterback pressure. If I wanted to really get fancy, I could literally go back to the press conference that Michael Parsons had after this game. And I can remember it like yesterday. Michael Parsons said after the New Orleans Saints game. You know what he said? I can't be the only one making plays. If Michael Parsons was on this defense and the way that it's going right now, he would probably still be the only one making plays. And the right offenses, they know how to take him out of the game. They know how to take him out of the game. It's that simple. And the New Orleans Saints did it last year. They took him out of the game. They took him out of the game. All right, let me get to the end here. We're gonna end this session. We're gonna come back tonight for Cowboys After Dark. Y'all go get you some coffee. We coming back tonight. We ain't even get through. We're gonna get to our Dak Prescott session, our Jerry Jones session, CDs. We're gonna get to that tonight. All right, let me get down here. I want to get down a little bit further. Let me start with Big Rabowski. Big Rabowski said they didn't do it, G, because they can't do it. Kevin Edwards said they had a spy on Caleb. The bases haven't been covered. I don't think they spied him the whole game. And not to mention, if they spied him, they didn't have the right person spying him. The person they should have had spying him was Maurice Leofow. See, they got speed. They won't use it. Maurice Leofow may be their quickest linebacker. They won't use him. They absolutely won't use him, and it don't make sense. Kevin Edwards, he said, I want Poopa D as the defense coordinator and Angie as the head coach. I feel you. Yeah, Big Rombowski, that's the point I made. How many of those were check downs to tight end? That's not a good day. Big Rombowski. Dennis Allen did it to him last year. And it makes me wonder, why can't Matt Eberflus get his defense to do the same thing? Just keep everything in front of you. Why can't Flus do the same thing? This bend don't break defense is designed to keep everything in front of you. He won't keep their defense. Man, how do you not be able to keep everything in front of you? This is crazy. We need answers. We need answers. It's crazy. Carl Alder, he said it's just plain facts. We are just struggling week after all my struggles have been run even further. Bobby D, but they put the Cowboys in a headlock. He said, Dak made me mad the last drive, run the ball, but they put him in a headlock. See, we got to understand, they dictated to us what to do, Poobie D. Man, once you get down 31-14, man, you ain't fooling nobody running. What you running? You ain't fooling nobody. It just didn't make sense. Chanel said, gee, that's a great catch, as Dennis Allen knows how to play the Cowboys and knows how to scheme against Dak. Chanel, I was blown away when I figured out. I said, wait a minute. David Allen? Man, I went back and looked at the game because I remembered they said he was the ex-coach of the Saints. Chanel, I remembered the game. He did the same thing to Dak Prescott last year. Now, I don't think he would have been able to do it the whole game had CeeDee Lamb stayed in the game. But because Brian Schottenheimer tried to get cute, decided to run CeeDee Lamb like a running back, because you don't have that pop, bro, it was dumb. It was dumb. Edgy said, this is the first time G. Lives made me sleepy. She said it was Brian Schottenheimer. Edgy, he keeps saying the same thing. He says all the right things, but we're not seeing the action yet. It's only game 3. It's Overreaction Monday. We can do it. All right, let me get a little further down. I want to see where y'all are on this thing that I caught with Dennis Allen. Yeah, Prime said it's backfired on Parsons because he made 0 plays in the playoff game. Big Rombowski said, or even worse, Michael would have been a liability out there because Chicago would have been running right at him the whole second half. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm telling people, Big Rombowski, he wouldn't have made a difference. He wouldn't have. We got blew out last year when Dennis Allen did the same thing to the Cowboys offense with Mike McCarthy. And they knew how to handle up on Michael Parsons. The Saints ran at him. They ran at him. Poobie D, he said, can somebody answer this? Since we always getting beat, why not blitz? Poobie D, me and you on the same page. I'm going to get beat blitzing. I'm not going to get beat rushing forward, dropping 7. I'm not getting beat like that. Hopefully this is, and I'm telling you, this better be the adjustment they make this week. If they don't send 6 at Jordan Love, boy, we get knocked out the box. Rombowski says Sanborn and Murray might blitz right into the backs of our defense and wind up injuring them. Carolina Cowboys had to say, he said, why are we not blitzing? I don't understand it. Lock and D. Shotty needs to tell every coach we need to start toughening up on the players and stop playing soft. That's why we're a soft team. And I don't understand, what are we doing? Why are we trying to protect the feelings of Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker? Ron Hanna said, I'm so done with these delusional takes from Brian. How can you have faith in your safeties? Bro, I'm telling you, he said that I had to go to the bathroom, man. Boy, I had to go to the bathroom. Real estate vet, appreciate that super chat if I didn't mention it. Real estate vet, he says, when D-Law and Parsons duo broke up, problems. Man, I'm telling you, Cowboys just got to change, man. They got to change. They have to change. So that's what happened yesterday. Dennis Allen. Got to give him credit. And y'all know what else? We were talking about Matt Eberflus coming from Chicago. You know what's even crazier? Al Harris. The ghost of Al Harris got us yesterday. Excuse me. The ghost of Al Harris got us. You do know where the punch out of that ball comes from, right? You want to know why the Cowboys were one of the top turnover teams while Dan Quinn was here? Because he had Al Harris. Al Harris also knows the Cowboys secondary. Al Harris also knows the Cowboys defense. Al Harris also knows. Poobie D, I agree with you. It's not that he wouldn't have made a difference, but what kind of difference? He don't change the game. Michael don't change the game because we saw Dennis Allen with the Saints did the same thing to the Cowboys last year. Michael Parsons was at full health last year. Full health. What did he do? What did he do with the Saints? The Saints turned out to be one of the worst teams in the league. Worst teams in the league. How did they beat us? They ran on us. They absolute ran on us. Michael is going to make a bigger difference with the Packers than he is with the Cowboys, than he would have with the Cowboys, because the Green Bay Packers have a better defense. Now, I hate to say that part out loud, but it's the truth. The Green Bay Packers have a better defense than the Cowboys. Michael should be doing some amazing things, and it's only game 3. But I'm sorry. Michael Parsons literally ought to lead this league in sacks this year. He should be in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year this year because the Green Bay Packers were already a good to great defense without him. This dude is just what you would call icing on the cake. People keep asking if he's going to be the Saquon Barkley move of the year this year for the Green Bay Packers, like Saquon was for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not sure he makes that kind of impact because when you talk about a running back, Saquon was contributing touchdowns. But the Green Bay Packers defense is already so good. Michael ought to be making more than a difference. Michael Parsons ought to be absolutely eating with the Green Bay Packers. We're going to see what happens by game 4. We're going to see what he does with the Cowboys. Because the Cowboys defense is so weak. Man, Michael Parsons, if Michael Parsons don't get 3 sacks on the Cowboys, it is, I'm sorry, it would be underachieving. But with the Cowboys last year and with the Cowboys this year, you would have just had to choose how you were going to get blew out. Because last year the Cowboys were getting blown out with Michael Parsons on the field. They were getting blown out with him on the field. I'm telling y'all, this doggone quarterback pressure stuff, it's overrated. You got to tell me the result of the pressure. What is the result of it? The Cowboys couldn't stop the run last year. Michael Parsons, with his 12.5 sacks and whatever else he didn't make a difference. So with him this year, and with the back end of this defense, people acting like that Michael Parsons would be getting to the quarterback in 1.2 seconds. No, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be getting to the quarterback in 1.2 seconds because teams would be still doubling him. They would still be doubling him. The Cowboys they just don't have. I don't know how else to slice it. The Cowboys just need more. They just need a little bit more talent. But I'll tell you this. Let me tell you something, Lock and D. Let me tell you something. I would have loved to have seen Michael Parsons with Kenny Clark. I would have loved to have seen Michael Parsons with Kenny Clark and Oso Digizua. I would have loved to have seen it. I think Michael would have ate even on this defense, not as much as I think that he should be eating on the Green Bay defense. But I think he would have ate on the defense this year. But with the back end of this Cowboys and the linebacker play, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. I mean, we really got to ask ourselves, is he really making the huge difference on the Green Bay defense? Because at this point, we don't know. We really don't know. The Green Bay Packers are 2-1. People can tell me anything they want to, but with Michael Parsons on your defense, they should be 3-0. They should be 3-0. He should be making that kind of difference because that defense was good before he got there. They should be unstoppable with him there. They got beat by the Cleveland Browns. Let it sink in. The Cowboys still would have gotten their lunch handed to them. The only thing we might have been talking about was, hey, man, they got blew out, but Michael Parsons got 5 quarterback pressures and a sack. Big deal. Doesn't change anything. It just doesn't change anything. All right, it's Overreaction Monday, Cowboy fans. We got one more session to go tonight. We're going to do Cowboys After Dark. We're going to finish up Dak Prescott, Jerry Jones, CD, Stephen Jones, and the rest. We're going to finish up so that we can get back to our regularly scheduled program tomorrow. It's only game 3. I'm still confident the Cowboys are going to be able to do something this year. I'm sticking with my prediction. I said the Cowboys are going to flash, and I still believe they're going to flash. I have confidence in this team. I have confidence that I believe they're going to make the change. Brian Schottenheimer, I'm going to ride with him. I'm going to ride with Brian Schottenheimer. I'm going to trust that Brian Schottenheimer is going to make the necessary changes. I'm riding with him. I'm going to see if he's going to make the changes. Because you just mentioned Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. So that's telling me that you're not going to move off of them as of yet. Okay, so can you get them to stay back there? Can you get them to keep everything in front of them? We're going to see this week. Will you implement some blitzes? We're going to see if you told Eberflus to do that. We're going to see if you're going to utilize Jadeveon Clowney. We're going to see how are you going to do all these things. We're not giving up yet, Cowboy fans. But on every Monday, y'all, we are going to be free to overreact. And then we are going to get back to our regular scheduled programs on Tuesday. The Cowboys beat the Green Bay Packers. We might be talking about Super Bowl on Monday. And then we're going to get back to our regular scheduled program on Tuesday. But it is Overreaction Monday, and we are overreacting. At least we might be. Game 3. We can calm down. But again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all go get you something to eat. Enjoy the second half. Get your coffee. We coming back for session number 2. Big Rombowski, you gonna be up with me tonight? Ron Hanna, you gonna be up with me tonight? I know Niecy and Angie, they're gonna be fast asleep. Katharina Kiss, Lisa Worley, C-Base, y'all coming back tonight? Carl Alder, y'all coming back tonight? I'll be back tonight, right around midnight. Rombowski said, G, I'm off, Shotty. He said, you have fun, G. He said, I'm off the Shotty train. No, Big Rombowski, we can't get off the train yet. You can't do it. Kaylin, I'll be back at midnight. Big Rombowski, you can't get off the train after 3 games, man. He said there's a reason why the other 31 NFL teams didn't call him since the late 2010s. No, Big Rombowski. Carl Alder said draft coming soon to a TV screen. No. We can't get off this thing this quick. Chanel said these are all the best guys. We can't do it. C-Base, we got to call it overreaction. We can't give it up this quick. Big Rombowski said you only get 17 of them, not 82 or 162. We can't do it. Again, I'll be back at midnight. Chanel, be back at midnight. Uncle Charles, midnight. Let's go. Booby D, let's go tonight. Let's go, Ron Hanna. We got to come back tonight. We got to fix this up. Niecy said exactly. Niecy, catch me on the way to work or catch me in the morning. We gonna be clowning again. It is Overreaction Monday, and we can overreact because tomorrow we getting back on that train of season ain't over. I'll see y'all tonight at midnight. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.